Well, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this lovely Sunday morning? Are you all ready for some shenanigans, fixing some laptops that I haven't looked at yet, and I need to get them fixed, but we're going to do it live together, right? So, hope everyone's doing good. Hello from Ohio. Hello. That hurts. Looking at science from Yorkshire. Nice. Frankfurt, Germany is here. Nice. Good to see everybody coming out. We already have a couple hundred people here, which is nice. Last Wednesday, if you missed it, we fixed 3 for 3, so that was a good evening. We were able to save all these laptops. I have no green juice today. For some reason, I did not buy extra green juice for the Sunday stream, and I don't stop by the store before the stream. So all I have is coffee, and I have it right here. So hopefully that helped me out. I had a long day yesterday. My kids were at a swim meet, and so I was at a swim meet all day, championships, and so I was in the sun, so I'm pretty exhausted. Hello from Ontario, Canada. Hello. Got some more Canada here, some Kentucky and some Denver and some Jordan, some Las Cruces, some Germany. Hello. Good morning. No. Let's see. So we do have 3 laptops on the chopping block tonight. Or today, this morning. It's not tonight, but if you haven't already, you can vote. There's 3 different laptops there. So one's an M15R5, and it's giving a 2.1 error. That I believe that's the Ryzen edition, so it is a AMD chip. And so 2.1 error usually means bad CPU, but it could also mean what powers it, or we ran into some other issues. We were able to kind of solve a couple of those. So take a look at that. And then we also have a M18R1, so the power rail failure. Now this one, I'm pretty sure I know which power rail it is, but you know, we could take a look at it. It shouldn't be too bad. And the last one is the Precision 7710, which is a short whenever you plug in the power. So it looks like the poll already ended. Did we put a poll up on Twitch? Who did the poll on Twitch? I think we ran it too short. It needs to be 10 minutes long. So if y'all want to restart the poll on Twitch, if you don't mind, and then you just guys re-vote, because it ended already. It should be 10 minutes long for the initial one. We got Bourbon here. Hello. New Zealand is here. Motor City. Good morning. Virginia, Spain, España. Hello. New Zealand, New Hampshire, UK. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Ciao. Hello. So it's a full house now. So we have a lot of people coming in from all around the world. I'm actually going to be off for the next 2 streams, so this is your last one for about 2 weeks. So let's make it a good one, right? Let's make it a good one. Let's save some laptops today, and hopefully we can. There we go. The poll is up again on Twitch. It's going to be 10 minutes long, and so make sure to vote now that we have actually 68 people in Twitch. But so far, it looks like the CPU failure is winning on YouTube. It looks like so. Oh, I can put the poll up there. There we go. Hello, Nate. Hello from Bulgaria. Hello. Arizona. Okay, Gritty voted. Good. Got more Canada. Man, we got a lot of Canadians here today, eh? Hey. Hello from Italy. Ciao. Hello. No science for 2 weeks. I know. Yeah. So I'm gonna be gone Wednesday stream and the next Sunday stream. So it'll be 2 Wednesdays from now, basically. I don't know what the date is of that, but that's when I'll be back. I'm headed over to France and Italy for a little bit, so we will see how that goes. Hopefully it's going to be a relaxing trip. Usually it's a go trip. I think we're going to relax a little bit, and maybe I'll do some coding or do a little bit of work, but let me reboot my computer. So the shirt I'm wearing today is going to be a Concur shirt. That's for all you guys who concur out there. Returning for the 8th. Okay, so the 8th, let me look up the calendar here. I'll tell you exactly what day it is going to be. And my calendar is not loading here. What is going on, calendar? Let's see. Calendar. Why is the Windows calendar so stupid? Here, I'm going to do it on my phone. It's a little more easy. But yeah, if you concur, you can get this shirt. Let me see the calendar on here. All right, so it looks like the 8th, yes. So the 8th, I'll be back on the 8th. And maybe. I'll message if because I think I'm coming back on that day. Actually, hold on, I got to think about this. So maybe no, I'll post. I'll let you know. But yeah, so possibly the 8th. Otherwise, it'll be the next Sunday after that. So what's the IRL tech? Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, I need to find a place with air conditioning. So right now, yeah, you're having a heat wave over there. I hear it's like 106 degrees. There's no air conditioning. I don't the hotel that the place that my daughter's staying, we're actually taking her off to a college thing there and leaving her there for a while. There's no air conditioning there. So yeah, but I'm even posting videos still. I'll have videos going out scheduled. So you're still going to get videos. You're just not going to get the live streams, and that's okay, right? 4th of July in France. Yeah. Although France doesn't celebrate our 4th of July. No, they don't. So we were there one time for Bastille, so that was cool. Find a substitute the stream. A tech. Yeah, that'd be cool. Hey, Let Us Repair just sent 3 gifted subs. Thank you there. Thank you. So it looks like nobody got a resub. Look at that. And Nate, we've got a fellow Nate out there. The biggest Bobby. And Frang just got some. Thank you for that. That is awesome. So is the 14th. Okay, so I'm gonna miss the Bastille Day, but we were there one time and it was like fireworks like crazy. It was pretty cool. Have my brother do the stream. That would be funny. Yeah, maybe I'll have him do some. He's a musician, so maybe I'll have him do a music stream. He'll teach you how to do some music stuff. That'd be funny. Stream some Fruit Loops or Ableton. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, so I'll have him do some Ableton sequences for you. Show you how to make a beat out of like hitting jars and stuff. He walks around and like he has like his recorder and he'll sit there and like, oh, that's a cool sound. Let me sample that. He was like, we were in the forest one time. He was dropping logs on the ground and hitting trees and doing all this stuff and recording those as samples to take back so he could put it inside different loops he was working on. So yeah, that'll be fun. I'll do a bowling stream one time. That's what someone wants me to do because I'm a bowler, and so someone wants me to do a bowling stream. I could just live stream from the beach. That's what I'll do. So what have you missed? You haven't missed anything. Right now we're in the voting stage. We got about 6 minutes. We had to restart our Twitch stream, our Twitch vote. So just vote. So the 3 laptops, it's a 2-1 error. So it's a CPU failure, 3-5 error, which is a power rail failure, and then a shorts adapter. So a little bit of a mix. Who knows what's going to happen, right? Can we fix them all? Can we fix none of them? Who knows, right? Are they a bad CPUs? Are they bad everything? So South France beach stream. That's right. That would be nice. It's going to be hot for sure. Why vote for the CPU failure? So the thing is that the 2-1 error is an error saying that the CPU is, they can't start the CPU. So that's what it is. And so you could sit there and say, it's done, CPU is bad, but that's not diagnosing the CPU is bad. That's just diagnosing that it can't start the CPU. So we fixed a couple 2-1s. I've probably fixed about 10 2-1 error laptops in the last couple months. Okay, so there's different reasons. So you can have like power rail failure where the actual CPU power rail is not starting. You can have it where you can have a BIOS issue, firmware issue. I've seen that. We had one where a coil trace under the coil was bad. So you know, something like that. White Noise just did a tier 1 sub for 2 months. Thank you for that, White Noise. And VD. Oh gosh. Show me the gooch. Nothing but gooch. Check your email. T-shirt picture you sent. Alex just sent a picture here. Let me see if I can pull that up. Which email did you send it to? Because I don't see one. Maybe Discord? Nope, I don't see it. You're going to have to send it, or you probably send it to our info box, which I don't check that. I don't have that. So you can send it to repairs. Anything you want to send to me right now is repairs, like plural repairs, at parts-people.com. Okay, check a bizarre email they sent to you. Okay, so let's see. CPU error is a coil, I guess. It could be a coil, but who knows, right? I mean, that's why we're going to figure it out. That's why you can't just say it is what it is, and that's why we are all about science these days, trying to make sure that we can figure out different things, causes to different things, and symptoms that make it a lot easier to fix it later. We spend more time now so we can fix it later. Check the subject T-shirt. What? I'm confused. Retest. Live telescope. Man, I need to. Yeah, I haven't done my telescope in a while, so I need it. I have a lot of automation issues at this point. So, run doc T-shirt. Run DMC. Good morning, everyone. Good. Hey, Black Horse is here. Raph, how you doing, buddy? All right, so he is the man that makes the flux right here. All right, so the flux that we all use and the candles that we smell, he still needs to make a burning electronics candle so he can light that whenever I smell that. So, email subtitle T-shirt. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't see anything here. So, let AI do the automation for you, Nate. That would be nice if AI was smart. I was fighting with AI yesterday. Let me tell you a little story real quick. So, my AC, I have a mini split AC, which is like a, you have the outside unit, the inside unit, that cools my garage. That's where my office is in my garage. And it was getting really hot. And so it was low on refrigerant. And I think I had a refrigerant leak, and I have a sniffer that basically can sniff for a refrigerant leak. And I found where it was. It was up inside the snorkel that kind of goes through the building. And I was up there poking up there. And then I started unscrewing it, and a wasp came out because there was a wasp nest apparently built in there. It came and zapped me on my hand. And then, so I got it all taken apart, after I dealt with all that stuff. And I charged the refrigerant back up. And I let it sit for a little bit, and then it kind of looked like the pressure was a little higher than I wanted it to be, especially since the ambient temperature was a little low. So I started asking Gemini. I was asking Gemini question after question about, like, is it overcharged? What do I need to be looking for? And it was telling me all these different things, and then it kept saying, oh, now it's overcharged. And then I used my recovery machine, pulled it back down a little bit, and then they're saying, no, it was undercharged in the first place. And so they're going back and forth. It's the most ridiculous thing. You're fighting with them, and they have no idea what they're talking about. It's just like, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm so tired of AI. Like, I'm trying so hard to actually use it, but it doesn't know anything. It's like, basically, it's a crowd pleaser. That's all it is. It's just trying to make you feel like you know something when you don't know anything, and and if you don't know better, you will just follow the instructions of what it's telling you. I saw an AC tech was doing a question with it, and it was saying, hey, I want to recharge my unit, but I hear that it's better to use R22 mixed with R410A. So what mixture should I use? A 60-40 mix? And the AI was like, yeah, 60-40 mix is probably the best bet if you're going to be mixing refrigerants. You guys, do you know anything about mixing refrigerants? It's ridiculous. You don't mix refrigerants, but the AI was validating him. It's just crazy. All right, last 15 seconds on voting, guys. Just go ahead and get your votes in, and then we'll proceed with our repairs. I'm sorry. Oh, and I do have one thing. Jack came by. Jack in the chat. Where's Jack at? Jack right there. He's brought me a shirt, and you guys know, too many words, so many words. He brought me a shirt. Words are hard. Words are hard, people. They are so hard. They're so hard. So, yo! Yeah, Jack, thank you for that. And then the last thing, I had somebody else send this in to me. This is LC sent me this motherboard that we can try to fix for science. He said that he had to replace it for, I guess, a friend or so. And so we could look at this for science in a little bit if we have time, if we make it through all of our tasks. Yeah, and so Buddy says don't mix refrigerants, but AI says it's great to mix 60-40. Oh, it's like a leading question, it's leading it. So AI has already been used for hackers. Well, fakers and hackers are using it. It's really good for that, for sure. Next shirt is Bourbon More. We need to use it some bourbon some more. Okay, polls are over. So we got, looks like 46% on the, ooh, I've never seen a tie before, guys. What do we do? So we have 46% for the Precision 7710 on Twitch, and then 46% for the 2-1 on YouTube. What do we do about that? I don't know what the tie means. I got a coin somewhere. Let's get a coin. Got a quarter. Okay, so we'll flip. So heads will do the Precision 7710, and tails will do the 2-1. All right? Ready? Wait. 3, I'm just going to let it stand. 3, 2, 1. Heads, 7710. Of course, you can't see it. Tails. So it looks like the 2-1 is what we're doing. So 2-1, and then we'll do, so the M15R5 with the 2-1 error is what we're doing first. All right. Let's rock and roll, people. Let's rock and roll. Which side is which? Oh yeah, so on American coins we have a head and we have a tail. We have a bird on one side and a head on the other side. So, okay, so let me grab this. I mean, this could be a 5-minute repair for all we know, right? This could be over and before we start. I have no idea. I have no idea, but we have Princess Peach on here. We got a little Princess Peach action and some Yeti. That's the two things that we like. And let me just pull up his note and then we'll go over everything. Okay, so we have, it's laggy again. Hold on, let me fix this laggy camera. Give me a second. Why is it being laggy here? There we go, buttery smooth. Okay, so hello, my client bought this laptop, does not boot, no boot screen, unplugged the battery, tried RAM, no image. Please diagnose and quote for the repair, and then let me know how much it will cost, whatever. So they don't even mention the 2.1 error. I have a 2.1 error marked down here because I had another technician already look at it to determine it's a bad motherboard. So we can concur that and then move on, right? Concurrence is strong. All right. All right, new day and another laptop that needs to be saved, and this time we have an Alienware M15R5. Now this is the Ryzen edition. Now this customer bought this laptop as a non-working laptop, and apparently it has a 2.1 error, which means that it has a bad CPU. This usually means that it cannot be fixed, but I haven't taken a look at this yet. Let's take a look together and see if we can save this laptop. All right, we got our Princess Peach on here. We have an Apple logo and we have a Yeti logo. That's a good combination, the best combination I've ever seen in my life. But we are very happy with that. Let's see if this thing tries to turn on when we hit the power button. It is very greasy and dirty. Look at this, guys. I think I might wipe this down first. If you don't mind, I'm going to wipe her down. This is pretty crazy. Pro sounding intro, buddy. Thank you. I hit it on the first try. Thanks for all that you do. I really enjoy all the content over the last few months. Well, thank you so much for that donation there, Tyler. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Yeah, let me clean this off if you don't mind. I'm just going to take a little bit of, take this right here. Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be nice and clean. Make me feel a little bit better about touching it. Okay, took 5 seconds. It's the least they could do, right? Least they can do. Look at that. Pretty. That's Princess Daisy. What? Peach would be Peachy, right? So Daisy is Daisy. All right, who's the pro that knew that? Send in, okay. Did you use AI to figure that out? So we have Princess Daisy on the back here. All right, so first thing I want to do is see if it turns on. We're going to hit the power button. And it doesn't do anything. Let's go ahead and plug in the power and keep an eye on the power meter. I will need to reset the power meter because it looks like that I had 8 amps on there a second ago. All right, so when we plug it in, pay attention, see if we have any current being pulled. And we do have something, right? 0.01, 0.02. I'm going to open and close the lid just to see if it automatically powers on. And it does automatically power on. That's why we do these open and close lid things. So it is powering on right now. I got keyboard backlight. We have some current draw, but I want to pay attention to how much current draw we're getting to. 0.18, we're at 18 watts. 18 watts. That's the highest I've seen so far. So let's just pay attention on how high the watts go. Now in this machine, we should get the jump to about 50, 60 watts, 70 watts when we're doing our startup. We're not getting past that. So we're only staying at 18 watts. And it's doing this little up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You kind of see that right there? Biz, just user Prime sub for 2 months. Thank you so much for that. So this is what I'm kind of paying attention to. So we're looking for things that are happening. Now, what I would be interested in looking at is actually the motherboard under the thermal camera. I want to see what's powering on, seeing if the GPU or CPU is powering on, if the VRAM's powering on. Do we have an error code? Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's go in. It probably is the 2-1, right? Did everyone see it already? So it's going to be the reds first, 1, 2, and then the blue second, 1. So 2-1, it would go ahead and look that up just for the world to see. Let me pull it up on a browser. We'll pull it up on a browser. So if we just come to a browser here and we just do Alienware M15R5 light codes is usually what I search for. And you skip this AI junk, just come over here and then scroll down and it will have right here, it says processor failure, CPU failure. So when we have a CPU failure like that, you know, you could say that it's a bad CPU and be done with it, but that's not who we are. That's not who we are. We're going to figure this thing out. So I just unplugged the charger and the thing just shut off. So that means the battery may not be plugged in. Just something to think about. So it just shut right back off. 2-1, I concur with the t-shirt. I concur with that t-shirt. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the bottom opened up and take a look inside. A shorted cap can do it, maybe. So what we're looking for is something missing. Something missing, and it could be a power rail to the RAM even. Yeah, probably not. It could be a 1.8 power rail. It could be a 1.0 power rail. It could be a, like I said, I've seen a BIOS issue do this. We flashed a BIOS on this and it fixed it. So, I don't know. I'm not scared. I'm not scared to try it all. Easy burrito. Wow. Usually this would be the hardest burrito there is. So this would be a lobster dinner. So if we can fix this, it's a lobster dinner. All right, and the bottom is off. All right, so take a quick look around. We do have the main battery here. So it is, yeah, it looks OEM. It is unplugged. We have 2 NVMe's. No, this one's not populated. This one is populated, but the thing's not screwed on right. We're missing a screw there. We do have the Wi-Fi card. This cover's on a little bit crooked. So does that mean it's been taken apart? I don't know. We have 2 sticks of DDR4 memory. So this is right on the cusp when they were switching to DDR5. So I think this is like a 22 model, maybe 20, yeah, 21 or 22. Good afternoon, you made it. I'm glad you're here. So let me go ahead and take out their SSD out of the picture. Now, probably there's no data that's on here that's worth anything because they purchased it as a secondhand or was given the laptop or something like that was the note. So we're going to take that out of there. Some people say it's the Wi-Fi card, so we might need to take the Wi-Fi card out. And but before we work on any laptop, we always do this thing, right? We unplug the battery and we just do a little flicker. Just flick it, just to be safe. And I'm going to take the Wi-Fi card out too while we're at it. We should do the smell test. That actually would be smart. And let's do the smell test too. Is this a liquid metal model? Ooh, that's a good question. No, if it's AMD, no liquid metal. They did not put it on there. It's only the Intel chips that are like really, really spicy chips, so they need to keep them cool. So I don't know if I want to put my nose too close to this. It was a little dirty on the outside. Seafood buffet. No, it smells fine. I don't smell anything. It just smells like someone's house. You know, that's how it is. Let's go ahead and power it on. Okay, so here's another thing. What machine were we working on where it powered on? It had 2-1 error, but when you powered it on the battery, it worked. Remember that? Remember that system? So let's see if this thing will power on with just the battery. I don't know if this battery's charged, but we'll see what happens here. And we got nothing. Oh no, here we go. Whoa, that was weird. Hold on, we got something weirder going on. Did you see the backlight of the keyboard kind of flicked on for a second? We got this crazy blinky there. But when we had it plugged into the wall, the keyboard backlight was on. Huh, we still have an error here. Let me turn this off. I'm going to try it again. Hold this down. So it definitely did something different on battery. Yeah, it was like an SOS. No juice. I have no juice today. I need some juice. It has juice. I don't have juice. All right, so is it blinking still? So it's still blinking and I have the machine off. It feels like it's off. Here, I'm gonna unplug it. We'll start from 0. You bought a couple t-shirts. Thank you there, Paul. Anybody wants to buy some shirts? The link is in the video description and it goes towards a good cause. Me, no. These are, oh man, I don't know. This issue seems a little strange already because we are looking at something that's a little bit different. And so I'm going to power it on again. I'm just trying to put this angle so you can see the keyboard backlight come on or not. So the keyboard backlight did not come on. We got that flash blink, fast blink. That means it's dead. I think it means the battery's dead. Hold on, let me get a different battery. Let's do that. I think that means that it's running on battery, but the battery's like under 10%. So let's do one that's actually charged. So luckily I have batteries coming out of my ears. All right, so this is a properly charged battery. Proper. The fans are spinning though. Yeah, they are spinning because you can hear them. All right, so let's see if we get keyboard backlight now. We have keyboard backlight now. So I think it was just too dead to power the keyboard backlight or something like that. All right, so the question is, are we going to get... No, we still have the error code. Thanks for the cheer there, White Noise. HY just did their Prime sub using their YouTube love. Or not YouTube, their Amazon love, because Amazon gives you free subscriptions to your people there. All right, so we still have a 2-1 with that. Okay, so what's the next thing here? So battery's not doing it. So what do we do now? Is it done? I think it's just a bad motherboard. No. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing kind of pulled apart. What I want to do is actually power it on underneath a thermal camera because I want to see what is turning on. If we have the CPU V-core coming on, if we have all the VRMs coming on, if we are missing something. We can start poking power rails and try to figure out if we're missing power rails. Now we don't have very many power rails on this side. I guess we do have more on this one. Yeah, I guess we can measure some on this side. A lot of times all the power rails are on the other side of the board, so that's what I was thinking. I didn't even look. Next step. Step 1, diagnose the issue. Step 2, fix the issue. All right, let me turn it back on. All right, so I have it on, have it plugged in. Is my voltmeter working? Of course not. Let me see if I can fix that. Open device failure. Hold on. It's because I don't have it plugged in. Let's try this again. Is it going to work? Come on. Ronald, donation for the bourbon of the liquid metal. Thank you so much for that. I will put it towards some bourbon right away. Right away. Sorry, hold on. I got to see if I can get this voltmeter working here. Okay. Oh, I think I'm going to need to pivot to some other meter to put on the screen because this thing is just driving me crazy. It keeps disconnecting. I think JFix has a really good one. James over there. Give me a second. Bear with me. Turn it off, turn it on. Did you turn it off and on again? Okay, so there we go. We got it. We got it. Okay, so the goal here is to try to measure these power rails that are on. I have the machine on. You can see kind of the fan spinning. And so we do have a bunch of coils. So coils are going to be outputs of power rails. So the way this machine works is it takes us 20 volts and it's going to produce multiple different power rails. You'll have the battery charging power rail, which would be 12.6. You'll have the 5 volt, the 3.3, the 1.8, the 1.05, the 1.2. This is actually 1.2 RAM here. So, and then you'll have CPU and GPU voltages and things like that. So if I check here, we have 0.7 volts, but we don't have a battery plugged in. I'm going to plug the battery in. And let's see if it actually starts pulling some current when I plug the battery in. Battery's plugged in. And it doesn't seem to be charging the battery. The battery's voltage is 11.1. Okay, there we go. It is charging charging the battery. So you see how it jumped up right there just now? So it's charging the battery. And then we're going to look at these other voltages here. We got 3.4 volts there. We have 5.1 volts there. And then this should be 1.8. So we have 1.8. So we have our 3 volt, or 5 volt, and our 1.8. Okay? So this is the problem, right? So if we have 3 volts, 3.3, 5 volts, 1.8 volts, we have it charging. Let's see if we have memory on. See if we have the RAM turned on too. Ken, $20 donation. Thank you for that. Appreciate that there, Ken. Very nice of you. So our RAM sticks are plugged in. They should be 1.2 volts. So let's measure and make sure we have voltage on that. DDR4. So we have 1.2 volts. See? So we have all of our voltages, bro. This is no good. It's no bueno. So pulling the board is going to be the next step. We're going to look at it under the thermal camera. I want to see if the actual V-core is present, if the actual CPU's power phases are actually coming on, if the VRMs are coming on, if what part of the core is heating up, things like that. Was it sent from a shop? It was actually sent from, they said, their message was, my client brought in this laptop. Yes, so it's sent from a repair shop. I thought they originally, I think I read it as bought this laptop. Shout out to Lead Farmer. Lead Farmer. So Big Mouth is shouting out Lead Farmer. Rip the trace under the coil. I mean, if somebody took it apart, they could have ripped anything. But we're missing some screws back here. But we will figure it out. So let me just get this board pulled all the way out. We're going to look at it under the thermal camera. We'll see the actual everything turning on. That's kind of the goal. I want to see it all. I have a feeling it's going to be firmware or something like that. There should be a bourbon made in your honor, Nate. They should call it liquid metal. Oh my gosh, that would be so funny. Ace, thank you for that. That's hilarious. That would be hilarious. The liquid metal. The dread. Liquid metal dread. That's what it should be called. Yeah, I cannot stand. I mean, you know, if liquid metal just stays in its place, then I'm okay with it. Just let it be. Just let it be. I removed those screws already? Oh, that's funny. Oh, okay. Well, there's your sign. Your sign that you're going crazy. I think we should flash the BIOS too, guys. But BIOS chip is on the other side of the board anyway. And if we're going to be doing all this for science and trying to collect clues, let's go ahead and just kind of see what it is before and after we do things like that. Because we want to see what baseline is. Remove CPU. No CPU, no dead CPU. Just solved. Now, the CPU is not removable, so that's, although we can remove it if we want, right? We can just put it over there on the BGA machine and just get her out of there. Just rip her out. I think Dr. Claw funded Nate's trip. That's basically what he was, right? Dr. Claw? Dr. Sonic. Dr. Sonic. I still haven't gotten the funds deposited, so I'm not 100% that's going to happen, but we'll see. Flick the battery cable. It's been flicked. It's been flicked. Where's my secret screw, guys? Ah, right here. You guys have to call out the secret screws for me. Oops, Dr. Sonic. But Dr. Claw is pretty on par for that. Dr. Claw, $1 million. All right, and the motherboard is out. Whew, it's a little bit dusty, just a tiny bit. Looks right here. I don't see any liquid damage or anything like that. That would be another thing to look for, because we could just have some corroded area on the board. And let's unplug the fans, because of course they put the fan connectors on one side of the board and the heatsink on the other side of the board. Because that's, you know, engineering. Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. Go, go, Gadget arm. Do love the Inspector Gadget for sure. Penny and Brain. Yay, another earthquake just happened. What? And 2 typhoons? What? What is happening to the world? Open coils? We could check that. That actually would be a fun little experiment to check. All right, remember I always say this, but so I have this off. And this is probably factory. There's no way I can lift this off right now. If I just start pulling on this, I'm going to end up bending the heat pipes, don't do that, okay? Don't do it. So here's what we're gonna do. It's like really stuck on here. So we're gonna take it and we're just gonna slide it back and forth just a little bit. You see how it's rocking? So once we do that, then we break it loose and then it will actually come off. Oh, it's still stuck. Still stuck. Just a little bit more. Nope, that one doesn't want to go either. Okay, there we go. Now we got it. But if you start prying on it, then you'll end up bending this stuff up. Okay. Call the Gooch police. Guys, something just happened. Or nothing happened. Do you see that? That might have just came off of my desk, but it also is a chip that just dumped on the board when I picked up this. So what do you think? Do you see it? If it can focus, come on, buddy. Look, right there. I think that must have came off my desk. There's no way that that thing just fell off. It depends what it is. If it's a power management chip, then it's off my desk. The mystery chip. What are you? It looks dirty enough to be in here. No, it's a 955 something. It's a 95522AH. No, so this is a power management chip from a Alienware, but it's not. I don't think it's from this board. So it must have came off my desk over here somewhere. Never mind. False alarm. That would be funny though if a chip just fell off. All right, let me get this out of the way. What I was going to show you is how dirty this is. I actually want to see how bad these fans are. Like if this CPU is bad because how dirty this fan is, then it would make sense. Like you can already see the pile there. So let me unscrew this. Ugh, I'm getting grossed out already. I can feel it. Here it comes. Get ready. Take these fans off here. Okay, it's choked. All right. Here we go. We'll just collect all this up. There we go. Got it. Got it. All right, this laptop is fixed. That's all it needed. It needed to be able to breathe. You guys fixed my laptop a year ago, and it's still working great. Thanks again. Awesome there, Jay. I'm glad to hear it. That's how it is. I saved another laptop. I saved Jay's laptop. It's great to hear, man. I usually don't clean fans first, but this was a little bit dirty. Yeah, it's like a lint in the dryer. That's basically what it is. Ugh. And it's like dusting. Can't even breathe. Okay. I'll blow that out in a second. I'm just going to put these back in so it doesn't flop around. Okay, so we will have to figure this out. So we know that the machine's been choked and it's been heating up, right? So it's been overheating. So we could just have a bad CPU and be done with this. That's basically where we could be right now. But I'd rather fix this. I'd rather fix it. Since we have stock thermal paste, right? So this is factory thermal paste. It's all dried up. We have fans that are completely choked out. We definitely have something that's been overheating for a while. So there you go. Clean your computer. All right, so here's our Ryzen 5 or 7 or 9 or whatever it is. It's a Ryzen 9, of course. The Ryzen 9 are always the ones that fail. But has it failed? I don't know. And these are 8690s. Interesting. So usually I see 8694s is what I'm always replacing. So these are going to be the VRMs that power it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of these is going to be the integrated graphics. So we probably have 4 of these tied together. I can't really tell which ones they are. So this one, I guess we can check. For science. For science. This is what we need to figure out is which ones are supposed to be on together at the same time and which ones aren't. So Sam, a resub for 8 months. Thank you for that. All right, so we're just going to check across here. I think these are attached together. All right, so these, all four of these are together, and then this one's on its own. If I try to measure that, it's on its own. Yep. So this should be the integrated graphics. So if we see this thing turn on, we should see these get warm. All this stuff get warm here. And PLG1, PLG1. I don't see L. Oh, you're saying L is this one, yeah. So this is going to be integrated graphics. And what we saw on this other machine was that the outputs weren't actually staying attached here, but this looks pretty straightforward here. The way that they have it is this path straight over here. It's only on the ones where the actual coil is sideways that I've seen fail when I was testing all these. So let's go ahead and plug it in with the thermal camera and see what we get. That's what I want to see. I need to boot the thermal camera up though. Give me a second. Okay, that's working. Do we have it up? I don't see it. Weird looking sediment on the coating. So there's going to be that stuff that kind of oozes out of the thermal pads, the kind of oily substance. So I'm not super concerned with that. AMD with integrated graphics. Yeah, they have Radeon graphics on these things. Intel has their own graphics, the Iris or the UMA graphics. And then you have the AMD has the Radeon graphics. All right, do we have our thermal camera working? Yay, okay. All right, so put that power meter back up there. And what do we need? I need a DC jack though, hold on. So which jack does this thing take? It's gonna take this DC jack. So I gotta dig through my bag of jacks. I think I have one right here. Bag of jacks, there we go. All right, so we have our test jack. It's plugged in there. The goal with this is to see the actual CPU, GPU, all that stuff come on. So we have, here's the CPU. These are the power phases. What I want you to look at is we have 1, 2, 3, 4 coils here. We're gonna look for the coils heating up. We're gonna look for the actual power phases heating up here. We'll cool this off so we can actually see the difference here. There we go, it kind of stands out. And then I'm gonna pull this stuff off and we'll look at the GPU heating up too. Gotta get all this stuff out of the way. Okay, so I'm just trying to look for contrast here for you. All right, so let's plug it in, see what happens. So I just want to see everything heating up everywhere. You ready? 3, 2, 1. I plugged it in, nothing happened. Now I got to press the power button, I guess. I guess it does have a power button that needs to be pressed to turn on. Is it coming on? It's not awake yet. Hold on. There we go. Okay, CPU on. And look what's coming on. You see what's coming on and you see what's not coming on? So we have, is it this phase? And none of those phases are on. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in for that. Well, I'll do it under split screen actually, but basically what I just saw was that this was on and none of those were on. Only this was on. Now, I'm not sure if that's how that turns on. I don't think it does. I mean, from any time I've ever seen one of these, they all come on at the same time. So that doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to switch it to split screen. And that way you can kind of look at it. And my goal is to kind of put my tweezers on this at the same time. Let me cool it back off again. Okay. Plug it in. Power it on. Up, hold on, darn it. Need to fix my power meters. Okay, there we go. It's hard to touch this power button because I'm having to short out some terminals here. There we go. CPU is coming on, and I only see this one. That's it. So that MOSFET's coming on, and this coil's getting hot, but none of these other MOSFETs are coming on. So does that mean a bad CPU? Doesn't look like a bad CPU to me. And even the integrated graphics is a little bit warm, but none of this other stuff's warm. So what do you think about that? What does that make you think? I don't know what it makes me think at this particular moment, but it's something to look at. So we're going to come over here, and so the way I can think about it is we either have, you know, this PWM controller is bad, so it's not sending signals everywhere. We have all three of these MOSFETs are bad, which is probably unlikely. We could have a firmware issue where it doesn't know how to you know, send the current over properly. I would be more inclined to thinking it's this right here out of everything right off the bat, but we could just swap it out really quickly to check that. And then the other thing is that we can also check to see if we have like a weird measurements on any of the PWM pins. So PWM is pulse width modulation, which is it's sending a kind of a square wave over to a pin, and that triggers this on and off at a rapid pace. Darn it, I can't see your message sometimes. On these CPUs, the power is a soft start initial staged. Okay, so the board controller, it sees what turns on, then turns them on and off. Okay. Okay. All right, so should we grab another board to test to make sure that it's doing that exactly what they're saying? So soft start, like I said, I don't know exactly how it's supposed to start in general. Then here's what I want to do next. So if the idea is that it's supposed to only turn on that first stage, and then as it is happy with everything, it starts moving over and turning on the rest of them, that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. I don't work on these AMDs that much, or at least kind of know exactly how they want to turn on. Well, then I'm inclined to actually flash the BIOS next then, because flashing the BIOS takes 2 seconds, and it's an easy thing we can do. We can just flash it, and then we can look at it under the thermal camera and see if it does anything different. I've seen it fix it in the past, so we might as well do it. We also we can measure all the PWM pins too while we're at it, but let me see if I even have that board view. M15R5, what board is this? The 453. 453, I got a 454. I have a 453. All right, so here's our board view, and we can see that, so here's our PWM controller, and then we have our power phases, the PWMs, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if one's coming on, right here, comes to this resistor and then goes out to this corner. So that's what we're going to be measuring. I just want to measure it and see if all those signals, or at least the in diode mode, look normal, or resistance mode looks normal. So we'll check that, and then we can probably just flash the BIOS. Went for coffee. Did you check for a short? Yeah, I did not check for a short either. So that's another thing. You guys are so smart. Probably should have checked for a short somewhere. The fact that all the power rails are up, that's why I haven't done that, but we can go around and kind of look, and then we can also look around the board to see if we're seeing anything kind of getting warm somewhere. So it's this corner pin here. This is going to be the one that is turning on, so we're just going to measure that in diode mode. So we got 0.53. So we should have 0.53 in all these. 0.53, 0.53, 0.53. Just got here. Did you try injecting 50 volts DC at the CPU? That would do it. I've only done 20 volts at the CPU before. Never done 50, but we were trying to make the top pop off, and then weren't able to get that to happen. All right, so I don't see anything there. What were we going to do next? We were going to measure to see if we have. We could do a physical inspection too. Gosh, you guys are so smart. Look for burnt parts. All right, let's do a physical inspection, and then let's measure, just make sure we don't have any shorts on any power rail while we're at it. And then we can flash the BIOS, which I think is what's wrong. Okay. Just gonna check this. I mean, we had our RAM power supplies. We had our 3 volt, 5 volt, 1.8. This is gonna be for the Tron lights. It's the microcontroller STM32. There's our BIOS chip. It's only a 128. There's our EC chip. So the embedded controller is what handles starting the board up and keyboard inputs and power buttons, stuff like that. This is our VRAM power rails, 27 ohms. This is looking pretty nice. Pretty nice. This is for the GPU, and all that looks fine. This is probably going to be at like 0.3. This is almost 0. It's hard to say on a GPU when you're measuring it. That's the PD controller for the USB-C power delivery chip. All right, everything looks fine on that side. What bridge up there looked like a crap solder job? Which part are we looking at? I'll have to go back and look at it. Let me pull this back cover off. There's like this shield on here. Has this been to a previous repair shop? Now, it doesn't, the shop that sent it to me, I don't think they repaired it. So it's been to another repair shop, but I don't think they worked on it. If that's it's a yes/no answer. So I don't think it's had any previous like soldering done to it, per se. And I could take the daughter board off too. Sometimes that will cause some sort of power rail dip. But all these power rails were up and running. So every 3 volt, 5 volt, 1.8 that was running, we had it charging the battery. So when we have issues like that, I tend to think that we have some sort of firmware issue. But we only have that one phase coming on. So, all right, so all that looks fine. And then what else do we want to check before I start going straight to what I think it is? Seems like the worst YouTube auto mod. There's a YouTube auto mod going on? I didn't even know that. Why do people need to contact the previous repair shop before doing the repairs then? Sometimes that's actually kind of useful. We usually call the customer before we put it in the board repair, and then they would tell us something. But yeah, if it's been to another repair shop, then came back to the customer, and then they sent it to us, it's like getting that information is kind of hard. The jumper PJT574 is missing. So is this number? 574. Where's that one at? 574. Here, let me pull up. .574. Let's see, PJ574. I don't see a 574. Huh. I don't see that, but if it doesn't have any solder on it, sometimes they don't populate those. So like you'll see them, like this one has it on here, but the blob's kind of small. So these jumpers right here isolate one power rail from another, so you can actually take this off and not have that connected. Now, like this one right here was never populated. You see how they isolated it and they didn't end up putting anything there? So instead, I guess they did an inductor instead of doing that. So they could have chose which way they wanted to go with it. And so I guess engineers. So if you see something like that that hasn't ever been stuffed, then don't worry about it. Don't want you to stress out about it. All right, what I'm going to do, just because I think that I just want to get it out of the way, is just let's extract this BIOS. Let's put a new BIOS on there. And that way we can at least rule that out and see if we are getting anything happening, because we do have a soft start happening. So when we turn this thing on, we're only seeing this one phase coming on out of these 4. And they should all be coming on, except if it's a soft start situation where it's starting the one phase, and then starting the rest of them up. So, how much for this used board? That's a good question. I don't think they're that much, actually. We can look up how much they are. Here's the serial number. I'm going to scan it real quick. I think they're probably in the 500 to 700 range, I guess. Maybe 400 to 600. I don't know. I don't even know if I have it though. I don't have this part number. I don't have this part number in stock, but this is the part number right here. So if we search for that on the Goog. So $450, you can buy one of these for $450 used. Okay, so all right, let me just flash the BIOS real quick. So on these, it's AMD, so we just extract the BIOS, back it up, and then we're just going to flash a whole BIOS straight on there. You don't even have to make a BIOS, you just flash it, and you're done with it. There's 1852, 754. Oh, 754, you guys are funny. I'm funny. 754. 754. Sorry about that. All right, so 754 is right here. Oh, and I didn't even look at it. Okay, so this is the one that you're talking about. That's not, it's right there. So this was the jumper that we're talking about that wasn't actually filled, and I always just ignore those. If it actually had solder on it, then I would have said, okay, it's a big deal, but there's no solder on it. That's just the way it is. Okay. Hat just used their Prime sub for 3 months. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm just going to grab one of these Pogo pen readers so I don't have to take the chip off. This is a 6x8. This actually doesn't fit this one, but I'm going to use it anyway because I'm crazy. Because I'm crazy, Nate. And this chip number is weird because it says it's 74M12JW, but when I connect to it, it's not going to say that, I guarantee. It's going to be something else. But who cares? 1852 is a GCE. Did a bad job. They did do a bad job. I saw that. I saw a few bad jobs on here. No wick. We'll restore it. Okay, so pin 1's here, and then pin 1 is here. So we'll just do that. Let's see if I can get this thing to hold on in place long enough. Go, Pokemon, go. Yeah, I might try a different one. This doesn't really fit on here very well. I might need to take it off too. Led, what's your trick? It's a 1.8, I know, JW, but do I just take, like, I don't want to have to take this thing off. If you're saying energize the board, right, is the other thing, is to get the voltage going. Crack is no joke. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. All right. Finally had to mow the lawn. Oh, I've had to mow my lawn a lot because it rained a lot, but now it's starting to drought up a little bit. Let's try this again. Of course, it's not detecting. Try to energize it for a second. Give it some power. Give it some power. That doesn't work. I might need to take this thing off. Okay, if it's off, force off 10 seconds power button. So with it unplugged or with the power on? So you want the power in the machine, but it needs to be off, is what you're saying. So if I plug in the power and try to do it, I get this error. So that's with the power plugged in. If I unplug it, I don't get the error, but it's not starting or it's not reading. And then if I need to clear the CMOS or clear using the power button or clear the capacitors, then I'll hold down that for 10 seconds. And the pins are dirty, so it might be just the pins are dirty. I can just pull the chip off, it'll be quicker. These 1.8s are always hard to read. Anything that's running on 1.8 volts, yeah, I just desolder it. Okay, I'm just gonna desolder it. It's a lot quicker just to take it off. Smack it. Smack that thing, man. Smack it. All right, let me see if I can peel this sticker up out of the way so it doesn't melt. Like that. Skipped your shorts. What? The BIOS chip cooked. We don't know. So basically what's going on is the CPU is not starting up. And the symptom we're having is kind of goes along with a power phase issue. Now it could be the actual CPU itself. I doubt it. Looks okay. It could be a firmware issue that's causing it. Could be a PWM controller issue. But what we're thinking is that it's not getting past the startup phase. So to me, it could be a BIOS issue. And so we're just going to kind of reload the BIOS. And it's easier just to take this thing off to do that. So now I'm not heating the chip directly because it's floating, not insulated. And so we're just going to try to heat the pins. Now I could add flux and solder ahead of time. Usually this is fine. I might have to though. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to. It's really on there today. It doesn't want to come off. But it's the starting sequence. Yeah, so if you think about it as a starting sequence, it's running code to start the actual board, and then it gets to a bad block inside the BIOS, then that will do it. You know what I mean? And I've seen that tons of times with these boards. I mean, I fixed 3 of these AMD Beyonces this week. In the last 7 days, I've replaced this BIOS chip or reloaded it this week 3 times. Okay. Not for 2.1 errors, but they're all, you know, different errors. They're not starting up at all, or they're not posting. They're just getting a black screen. You know. What's going on? This thing's like, I think it must be a dab of glue or something under there. I don't know. Did I just knock a chip? I got it off. Did I knock anything? Everything look okay? Is everything still in the same spot? Yeah, it didn't want to come off. She's stuck, Jim. She's stuck. Yeah, I'm going to put some lower melt solder on here. Just some leaded solder for next time. Nature's the man. Okay. Okay. That should be easier later. All right, and so our beautiful BIOS chip right here has a little bit extra solder on that leg. I'm gonna get that off of there. It corrupts easy. Now, I don't know what's going on with corrupting easy, you know? I hate this. But I don't know if it's a Microsoft issue on that, or if it's a, you know, voltage level issue or something. I need to not have any extra solder on these tips because they're hard to fit in this little holder. All right, so we're just going to install this into this holder here. So this is like, it fits into my reader. You just squeeze these down like this, and then you need to get pin 1, which is right there. Oh, wait, no, pin 1's over here, the other side. I'll set this in here like this. Get in there. There you go. But if you have too much solder on these pins, then it doesn't really fit in there. And you see how it's holding it? It's nice. Then we can go no hands. Then you can make me laugh all you want. This is only a 128 anyway, so they're super fast to read. Except that it's a 128 1.8, so they're slower to read. All right, so is it going to detect now? Of course not. There we go. All right, so 1.8 JW. See how it's a totally different number than what it was, but this is the one I'll select, I think. Wait, what is a JW? It was a JW, right? Or was it FW? Can't remember. Heat the adapter with alcohol at contact pin issues. Oh, that's a good idea. I think it was a JW. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. course, I can't see it. Yeah, JW. There it is. I'm sure they both work just fine. It doesn't really matter. It's just suggestions. Just get close. That's all it is. All right, we'll read the data on this. Now we're just going to back this up. We're not going to be using this at all because on the AMD systems, you just download it from Dell and just run it and just put it on there and just drop it and we're done. But I think I did another one of these, this exact model, like 2 days ago. So, Cal, thank you for that. It was the JW. And we're just going to make sure we have some data in here. We do. Look at that. A little bit of data in there. So I'm going to back that up, save it into our customer folder. So we know we have that to go back to in case it's BitLocker keys or whatever. So Doc is in second surgery. What? Why is Doc going in surgery again? So I'm just going to back it up and mark it as original. Okay, so now we just need to load the new one in here. And so the new one's going to be just extracted from a Dell BIOS off of Dell's website. And I have all these extracted BIOSes already in here, so I'm just going to choose one of those. M15R5. Yeah, this is old. Look how old this one is. So didn't I do one? I thought I did. I thought I did one recently. 15R7, 7, 7. All right, so I don't have a more recent one. So let's go get a recent one. So we're going to go to Dell's site. Look at that. See, it's already filled in there. M15R5. I know I was working on one at least. And so it is the Ryzen edition, so that's what we're going to be getting here. And we're just going to go to downloads. Oh, I swear I downloaded one recently. I don't know. All right, choose BIOS. And then I think I just did it to install on someone's computer. Anyway, we're going to come here, and then we want the RCV file. This one, see how the sizes are different? The files are a little different. This is what I want, is this one. This is going to be a recovery file. And then I have an extractor that we use to fix that, but I want to name it correctly. And I'm going to put AMD on here just so my brain likes the name of it, naming of it. All right, and I'm going to cut this and move it into that folder we were in earlier. Okay, so now that I have that here, I have a new tool that I made that's kind of working okay, I guess. We'll see. So this right here, all it's doing, it's an extractor tool, but all it's doing is using all these extractors that you can get on GitHub, and it's finding the right one. I can't read your messages right this second. Give me a second. And then, so I'll just browse to that, and it will just extract the right one. Just hit that button. I don't have to run any commands anymore. Boom, done. Extracted. So now we actually have it extracted into that folder as the most recent folder here. Right there. All right, let me check your messages. Okay, sorry about that. Emergency surgery. Okay, so Doc just went into an emergency surgery. Doc, everyone's pulling for you here. I'm so sorry to hear about that. That's crazy. Wow, that's horrible. Your camera is consistently off center here. Is it this camera right here? Maybe because I bumped it. Is that better? Okay, I'll fix that. Okay, we got that fixed. So where was that? So now we're going to go back to our tool here. So now that we've extracted that BIOS, and so this is the one we extracted. So now we have an actual file that's called bin, and it's 16 megabytes. This is going to be the BIOS region, so that's what we're going to actually be flashing to this chip. And so we do have it loaded in the buffer, and then I'm just going to hit program. All right, so while it's going, I can catch up here. You bump it all the time. You know, when I'm turning it on and off, I have to reach behind the camera, so it ends up twisting. So it's like hard to get it centered now, so we're good. We like the centering. You don't like me being off center? And I can't see it. It's hard for me to actually see on the screen here. You can check your notes again. So does everyone like that tool? It seems like I should submit that to the actual GitHub that produces the extractor, I feel like, and then let them kind of use it or create it, because it would be nice to have a front end that automatically just goes through and runs through all of them. But like I have it where it's set up where it's only running through the 4 files that Dell uses. And so if you had it where it was doing the other ones, it would take a lot more time. But if you made it where it was like select your person, you know, your company. So if you select Dell, then it would use any of those extractors and work. So yeah. It's still not perfect because I don't have it in isolation. I created an exe, but then it doesn't, it still has a lot of dependencies. So I need to figure out how to get it all packaged into one exe, compiled, so then it all runs as one unit without needing to have dependencies, but I'm sure it's fine. We can have it where it runs off of theirs. Upload it to JFix's Discord. That's a good point. I can just do that, and then everyone can use it there too. Okay, so that's written to the chip, so we are programmed right here, and so now we can solder this back on the board. Now, who thinks this is going to fix it? We might want to put a vote up for that. So the idea here is that we have a CPU that is, the motherboard saying the CPU has failed. I see the CPU turning on. I see the resistances on the CPU seem okay. I just don't see all the phases coming on. And to me, that seems like it could be a firmware issue. Now, I could be completely off base, but what I like to do is I like to do the easy things first, because when we start going down the harder ways where we have to change out all these other components, or we're really trying to guess what the hell the problem is, then we don't know. All right, so pin 1's here, and pin 1's here on that dot, so we're just gonna line these up like that. And this chip, because it doesn't touch the bottom here, it can overheat very easily, so we don't want to put a bunch of direct heat on it. So my idea is always to heat the board first and then come and set it down, and then you're going to heat around it. You don't want it to pop like popcorn. Now, it doesn't really matter because I have more of these, but then we can program it. But I was probably not paying attention though. What did I miss here? I do not recall you doing a check on the board. We did it once around the board. We checked for physical inspection, and then I measured some power rails. We also measured that voltages were there, and we didn't measure any shorts on any coils. So to me, I feel like everything's good on the board. So I think it's okay. I'm just going to hit this with a soldering iron one more time here. Roll the dice for the fix. All right. I got the chip on the right direction, correct? I clean it up, make it look like nothing happened. Oh, it would help if I had alcohol in this. I need to refill my alcohol. I can't remember a BIOS loaded PWM or separate. So the BIOS is not loading it because this is loaded as a PWM, or this is programmed. But I still think it goes through startup phases where it's like turn this on or turn that off, turn this on, turn this on. So it's actually going through and testing things. So it definitely is plausible because I've seen it fix it on other boards in the past. So we'll go thermal on this, and I'll cool these off again. All right, so you can actually see all the coils. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 coils here, and then this last one's the iGPU. The one that was only turning on was this one, so keep an eye on. We want all of them to come on, but I believe they'll come on, then turn off, then come on, and turn off. So I'm going to plug it in. Have it plugged in. It's pulling resting current. Now I'm going to hit the power button. Ready? 3. Wait, where's the power button? Oh, here it is. 3, 2, 1. Powering on. We only have that one phase coming on again. And then is it going to go back down and turn off? Okay, so now we're pulling 2 amps per second. Look, we're up to 60 watts now. Did you see that? We weren't getting 60 watts before. How are we getting up to 2.5 amps? And the CPU is now getting to 80. Okay. I feel like we're doing something different, guys. You're saying it's the same, but the most wattage we ever got up to, if we can do an instant replay, it would be great. It's still PWM 1 is on, but the wattage that's being pulled is a lot more. So maybe the GPU is coming on or something is different. Because before, we only got to 18 watts. That was the most wattage we ever got up to. So he points out the call before the repair. Oh, so I should call ahead of time to get more information? That might be helpful. That might be helpful. I'm about to work on this. Is there anything you want to tell me? You want to disclose anything to me before I start working on this thing? The CPU, it definitely got hotter too, because whenever I plugged in before, it only got up to 60 degrees C. Reread the note. Oh, then it says, please diagnose with a quote. Let me know how much. Thank you. That's what the note says. Oh, except there's another note? Nope, that's all we got. Don't have no call before the repair. You're messing with my emotions. It's not what it says. The note says the MOSFET shorted on. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I don't know about that one. Now I'm just going to put a blob of heatsink compound on here. So, but like I said, we're looking for something that's happening differently. And so originally it was only going to 18 watts. When we looked at this thing, I wish there was an instant replay, and maybe I could just go back and pull up the stream itself. But it was only getting to 18 watts. We sat there, I stared at it, it was going to 18 watts. Now we got it to go up a lot higher than that. We were jumping and spiking, so I feel like it did better. So, unless I'm wrong. It was now going up to 80 watts, but it appears to be faulting. Well, it also didn't have a heatsink on, so it also could be thermal throttling or hitting a thermal temperature barrier. So that's why we put heat sinks on them. I like how there's a lot of people questioning me. That's cool. That's fine. We're just collecting clues. We can get these screws in. Oh. Bell. That's good. That's good. I like how Circuit wanted to bell me. You wanted to bell me? How much for board repair? Flat $249. So flat $249, which is way too cheap apparently. But at least I can offset some of the time that's spent on these rabbit hole repairs with doing content and making it a little bit worth my while. Because otherwise, a lot of times it's like, God, I spent so much time on this, it's not even worth my time. But then I have to close that curiosity loop is the problem. I have this issue where if I cannot figure out something, I just need to know why it's doing what it's doing instead of just being like, chipset's bad. You know, I hate that. Nothing I hate more than like, I can't figure it out and I just have to blame it on like a bad chipset or CPU or something. But is it shorted on? Clean the other fan. We'll clean that fan eventually. I'm not going to clean it on the stream, I don't think. Windows bricking another laptop? I don't know if this is a Windows bricked type of issue. It seems very, like, just bad. I don't know. Bad programming. Flat motherboard repair of $249. Premium for LLM. That's what I should do is premium for LLM, but I'm not doing that. Okay, battery plugged in. Screen plugged in. All that stuff plugged in. Okay, we're gonna open the lid. All right, it's pulsed up to 3.41 amps. It's done it twice now. The question is it gonna go straight to a 2.1 error? Because that's what we were getting before. I mean, we're already up at 3.78 amps. I mean, it's already doing something different, guys. See what I'm saying? It's moving around. It's going to be doing a CMOS reset. Yeah, it didn't turn on all the phases that we saw, but it definitely is doing something different. Okay, it's flatlining. And we got a display test. Okay, it kind of scared me. It's giving us a picture for some reason. So this is the display test, okay? So normally I would hold down the D key to get to this screen. I don't know why this is happening, but we have a picture. I can't believe I saved another laptop. Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see. We're not getting the error code, though. We don't have a 2.1 error anymore. And we have a picture. I can't believe I saved another laptop. Boom. Look at that. Saved a CPU failure laptop. Oh, my gosh, you guys. Okay, so to recap. So on this machine, it came in and wasn't powering on. Only getting up to about 18 watts when we tried to power it on. And it was giving a blink code of a 2-1, so 2 red, 1 blue. That indicates a bad CPU, or at least that's what the motherboard diagnoses it as, right? We opened it up, measured, we got all the power rails. We got 3 volt, 5 volt, 1.8, things like that. Memory was on. Pulled the board, put it on the thermal camera. We saw that the CPU was actually coming on, but we only had one of the power stages coming on, right? So there's 4 that actually power the CPU, only one of them were coming on actively. So we were either thinking that it was just like a soft start, or that it was actually a PWM issue, but to rule out any other issue where you have like a bad startup boot loop or something like that inside the BIOS firmware, pull the BIOS chip, reprogram it with a fresh BIOS that we downloaded from Dell, loaded it on there, and lo and behold, the laptop turned on. We were able to save the actual laptop. So the issue was not the CPU, so even if you got the 2.1 error, it doesn't mean that you're gonna have a bad CPU physically. It just means that there's some sort of issue. It cannot start the CPU. So definitely an interesting one. I was glad we were able to get this one working. To finalize testing, I will boot into an operating system and do all the stress tests and clean the fans and do all that stuff and make it like new again. But this definitely was a good one. All right, so let's put a test OS in here. Let's just boot up. Did anyone learn from that one? Did that get your sauces going? We're not going to go to the next one yet. I just want to boot up real quick, but I wanted to do the wrap up at least so we can put that as a video. Okay, we got that in there, RAM. So this is just my test OS. Test OS. And so when we boot up, we're going to boot to a Windows install that has a stress test program so I can actually test the GPU, CPU, and make sure that all that stuff's working. Now, you know, whenever you're looking at things and you're saying, the motherboard, okay, here's what I want you to think about it. Here's another way of thinking about it. The laptop is stupid. The laptop will give you error codes, and they are getting better at their error codes, but for the most part, an error code just says it can't do something. It doesn't know why it can't do it. It's not diagnosing anything for you. It's just telling you, this is what I can't do. And so these machines that are starting to have like longer startup processes where they're CMOS resets and stuff like that are doing a little more tests so they can actually throw more errors or more granular errors. So like you used to just have like 7 beeps and you'd be like, or 8 beeps, and it was like, no, the screen doesn't work, but you don't know why the screen doesn't work. And then you start getting 2.7 errors where it basically was telling you, well, it's just, it can't start the SBIOS, or you're getting 2.8 errors now where it's an EC issue where it can't detect the screen or something like that. So they're starting to add a little bit more sophistication or smartness in these boards to diagnose what is going on. But again, it's not a diagnosis. It's more just like, hey, I can't do this, right? Ooh, we got bad graphics issues. Or I just moved this. Hold on. Ooh, we got some graphic issues, though. Do you see that? Nice job, Nate. I think the cable was, I just kind of janked it, moved it a little bit. Okay. So we will pull up our device manager, make sure that we have all the stuff installed. Yeah, it wasn't dead pixels. It was just when I moved the machine across, this mat is a little bit sticky, so I think it kind of put some tension on the cable. All right, so we have all of our drivers installed. This has an RTX 3070 flat, no TI, but I'm still going to run firmware on it. And we're getting 114 frames per second. Yep, 114 frames per second, so that's working just fine. last thing I want to do is run a Prime 95 stress test on it. You can see the hotspot's 84. I did not rethermal this, so it just has kind of the old paste mixed with some new paste. You know, old and new. But we're on Prime 95. That makes sure the CPU actually is fine. So I have that running. And we'll pull up all the cores so we can actually see that. What an alien. You guys like that background? That is on our Discord. If you want to join our Discord, you can get, there's a bunch of different versions of that. So we have all the cores maxed out here. We're running at full blast. And it looks like our RAM is being maxed out too. So all the lanes are going. So this definitely did resolve the issue. We're not having anything I can see that is a problem. I don't want to run this too long because we don't have good thermal paste on here, but that was it. So that definitely wraps that up, and time to go to the next one. And I'd love to know your thoughts on this one, and thanks for watching. I saved another laptop! Okay, so what's the next one on the list? It was the flipping the coin one, so it was the 7710. 7710. Okay, so DCU or support assist will show the latest BIOS that was installed and will happen again if the latest BIOS method. So yeah, that's a good point. So that's if there's an issue with a Windows update. So let me just show you how to disable automatic Windows updates, guys. Everyone focus. So I'm going to come over here. We're going to make it where the Windows cannot flash this BIOS. Okay. So this is an old antiquated screen. Sometimes they have a better interface. The AMD machines always have this crappy BIOS, but it doesn't really matter. What you're going to be looking for is right here. UEFI firmware capsule updates, or search for if you have a search in there, type in capsule updates, and it's enabled right now. So we'll just hit disable. And so now it can no longer update your firmware without asking. You have to update it yourself. All right, so you can do that right now, or not right now. When you're done with the stream, just shut down your computer and search for capsule updates or firmware capsule updates or something like that. And then that will make it where Windows will not update it. It will update all the rest of your drivers and your Windows install, but not your actual BIOS update. So you'll have to do that manually on your own. No, thank you. Dave's not here. Really? Dave's at church. Yeah, Dave's at church on Sundays. He'll be here later probably. We have other Daves though. How many Daves we got? I bet we have like 12 Daves here. We got plenty of Daves. Daves for them all. All right, so the next one's the 7710. It's not this one. You learned something new today. I hope so. I hope so. Sometimes it's just that you learn just not to take error codes for granted. I can tell you right now that, you know, a 2.1 error for me for years was always just like, it's a bad CPU, and that's it. I need to get my OS out of here. But whenever you figured out that, hey, I can actually fix some of these, you're like, wait a minute, that's crazy. Who would have thought that you can actually fix a bad CPU? But it's not a bad CPU. That's the thing. You know, it's just someone telling you it's a bad CPU. It's like here's another way of thinking about it. It's like a repair shop that is okay at fixing stuff or okay at diagnosing stuff, telling you that it has a bad CPU, saying, here, this laptop has a bad CPU. Now, are you going to diagnose? Is it diagnosed? You made somebody's day. Great job, dude. Hey, thank you for that, AJ. All right. Got all this out of the way. My bag of jacks. All right. What else do I need? We always clean up like good little technicians. Okay, 7710. Oh, this is the big beast, boy. The big old beast. Boom. So 7710 is a 7000 series precision laptop. Now, this is an older machine, but it's a goodie. Older, but a goodie. So, the issue with this one is lots of words. Lots of words. But words are hard, people. Words are too hard for me, so you're going to have to read on your own. But Battery ran low. And the text is all messed up here too. After shutting down the PC, I was able to plug in the power supply, and the blue lights started blinking and then went out. What does that mean? Started blinking and went out? Okay, so does this one short adapter? Oh, it does. It says it shorts the adapter. I tried a new battery, another power supply, the same thing. Industrial electronic for a long time. Oh, he's been in industrial electronics for a long time. So, programming the machine with logics, infinite wisdom, blah, blah, blah. Good lucky. Okay. All right. So it doesn't work. That's what he says. That's all the words said. It doesn't work. So do you think this has a bad CPU? What do you think, guys? Think we have a bad CPU on this one? All right. So let's do our intro. Let me get a sip of coffee, though. All right, so some people are already saying stuff here. We got a PWM, we got bad CPU, no detect CPU. This one has a modular GPU, which is kind of cool. All right, new day and another laptop that needs to be saved, and this time we have a Precision 7710. Now this is a 17-inch professional workstation machine. Now this was sent to me because the machine no longer turns on. He says when he plugs in this charger, it actually turns off the charger light on there, which is indicative of some sort of short on our main power rail. I haven't taken a look at this yet. Let's take a look together and see if we can get this figured out. See if we can save this laptop. All right. Gosh. All right, so we are working on a Precision 7710. And so since it does short out the charger, I don't know if I want to plug in the charger, because the more times you plug this in, the more damage you can cause, because the charger has to go into like protection mode. And the chargers I have are 240 watt and 330 watt. That's a lot of gigawatts going into the machine. So we're looking at 12 amps, 16 amps to short straight to ground. So we're going to open it up, just see if we can turn it on, and then I'm going to pop the bottom and start doing a little bit of measuring. And we'll figure out exactly if we do have a short somewhere that's going to be damaging the board or damaging anything. Because if it is a short to the CPU, we're ruining the CPU every time we plug it in. I'm hitting the power button, nothing's happening here. These are beautiful machines. They are really thick, but they are durable. So these things will last you forever. And what I like about them, they are pretty modular. This actual keyboard lattice comes out. Oh, this key came off. But the keyboard lattice comes off, and the keyboard comes out the top here. You have 2 sticks of RAM here on the underneath the keyboard, and then 2 sticks of RAM on the bottom. So you have 4 sticks of RAM. It does have a modular GPU. The CPU on this one is built on the board, so that's the only kind of downfall. But what can you do? What can you do? So let's pop the bottom off and take a look inside. Look at this. No screw to take this part off. Just flip that little latch over. Now we have access to the battery. We have access to the SSD. We can pop this out and pull. Oh, I guess you need a screw. There's a couple screws in here too. Pull out the NVMe. No, not NVMe. What is this? SSD? Or was it 2.5 inch? Sam, what was that? Just join. Want to try the BIOS update? Want to try it? Sam, you can't spam like that, bro. You can get in trouble. Yeah, you will get kicked out very quickly by doing that, Sam. Say you're sorry. All right, so this is not populated. It's just an empty 2.5 inch drive, but it does go there. Battery's right here. I don't know if I have a test battery that we can use, so that's not going to be super convenient. How does this battery come out? I would think there would be a latch. Where's the latch? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, so you flip this latch right here, and the battery comes out. I think this is a fake battery. It does feel fake. It looks fake. It doesn't say Dell on it anywhere. So we do have an aftermarket battery. There's no serial number on it. It could be the problem. It could not be the problem for all I know. And then now we just need to take this cover off. It's just a couple screws, and the screws are not even in, but this just slides out like that, and then this whole bottom comes off. So we have 2 NVMEs here. How many NVMEs can we fit? There's just 2, and then 2 sticks of DDR4, and there is 1 drive in here. I'm going to take this out too. The fake battery ruined the laptop. You know, I can't say no. Cannot say no. But our goal is to make sure that we're not causing more damage. than what we have. So we have an SSD here. It's a P5 2280, so it's a 1 terabyte. All right, so can we get to the main power rail from here? I don't see any access to it, actually. I don't see any access to the main power rail. Sometimes you can find like a inductor or a coil somewhere that you can measure off of, but I don't see anything. And measuring on the DC jack is not going to do you anything, but we can check it, because if there is a short on the MOSFETs that protect the motherboard, then we would have a short all the way to the jack, which is very rare. I've only had it happen a couple times, but we will check that. So I'll just measure across here and see if we have a short there. No short across there. It looks like these are all tied together and these are all tied together. And so no short across the jack itself. So that's not what's causing the actual short out. It does have a CMOS battery on these machines. You know, we can unplug it, doesn't really matter, because at this point we just have a short. That's the problem. So, but we'll see if we can get this guy pulled out. Come on, baby. You can do it. Sometimes these things want to stay in there and never come out. There we go. All right, so CMOS battery is unplugged. CMOS battery's purpose is just to keep the real-time clock or the settings inside the BIOS, so it doesn't have to do any a CMOS reset at the time whenever you turn it on, like if the battery goes dead. The main battery is what's keeping actually all the settings anyway. It comes apart pretty easy. Now there's still issues where we have to pull the palm rest off to actually access what we need to get to, so I am kind of happy for the fact that you can take it apart just enough to upgrade things, but it's not good enough to fix. It's not easy to fix, I guess. Take the Wi-Fi card out. Okay. Dave did it again? What? Oh, I'm trying to find a 9NJM. That's a battery, right? That sounds like a battery part number. At least that's what it sounds like to me. All right, so I'm not going to be able to access anything here, so we have to actually start pulling things apart. Looks like all the screws are not even in the palm rest right now. Check the pull. Oh, we're at 14% Dave's. Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see the pull. Here, I'm going to pull up the pull. Pull up the pull. All right, so we have 15% Dave's here, guys. How do we pull that off? Did you guys just say yes anyway? We have 20% Dave's on Twitch and 15% Dave's. You guys are silly. You guys are silly. You're new to the channel. Well, welcome there, Pause. No, no, no. No, no, no. All right, I'm going to pop the keyboard off. But looks like we already have a lot of screws taken out of this machine, which is nice. Jewels being sent in. What jewels? Jay? James? Hey, James, I want you to show me which voltmeter you have. JFix has a better volt. Mine just keeps disconnecting. I'm having an issue with it, so I need to replace this thing. I'm tired of fighting with it, trying to get it to connect to the computer over and over again, every single stream. Fake, 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 fake. The Dave's not here, man? What have you missed? So we've fixed a machine that had a bad CPU. Can you believe it? I can't believe. Fake diamonds. The diamonds and jewels. All right, so I got to pull this keyboard out. When we access this, then we can actually start pulling all the rest of the stuff off and then pull the palm rest off. Now, this keyboard's easy to access, but it's also, you have tons of screws. So there's kind of a mix there. Did we swap the CPU? We did not swap the CPU. Sinan, you're such a instigator. Yeah, we swapped the CPU. We did it in a stream in the first 20 minutes of our stream. BIOS flash fixed the CPU. So, and who would have thunk? I think we should have done a poll on that, because I think everyone was doubting me. They thought I was being a fool. Right? I am Dave. So Dave's my wife. All right, we got to make sure to unplug these. Don't forget to unplug this, because this actually pulls through to the keyboard. Those days are manufactured. This is multiplicity, where there's like multiple Daves being created. It's Davelicious. How many Daves does it take to plug in a light bulb? All right, the keyboard is out. I just want to get to a power rail so I can measure to see if we have a short on the main power rail, because I don't plug in stuff when I know there's a short somewhere. All right, so here's our RAM. We should have him, I should move the RAM from the bottom of his machine into the top part of his machine, because that's the way it's supposed to be installed, by the way. So if you ever buy one of these, they actually have the RAM under here, because then you can add it in the bottom without having to pull the keyboard out. So whoever did that doesn't know what they're doing. How many laptops will I fix today? We will see. The thing is I'm going out of town for 2 weeks, or a week and a half, and so there's not going to be any streams for a while, not going to be any videos. I'm going to post some videos, but I'm not going to be able to film anything. And so I need to fix as many laptops as I can before Tuesday, because I leave Wednesday. And so I only have 2 more days to fix whatever I can, and then everybody else that's in the queue, sorry guys. Sorry. They're both on the same channel underneath the keyboard. Oh, is that what's going on? These are on the same channel. Yeah, so that's why I should put those over there. Don't make me second guess myself. The Daves are awesome. The Daves are awesome. All right, I think I got all the screws. Here's another one. Vive la France. La France. Yeah, I need to get better. Rossman will try to fix one live. Have Lewis try to do it. He used to do it every single week, right? He did a lot of those live fixes. And now he's an activist. He's doing good, and he's like begging for people to sue him. If you watched any of his latest videos, he's like, I dare you to sue me. I beg you. I'm dying for it. I want you to sue me so I can go to court. Razar just gifted 5 subs on Twitch. Thank you for that. So Mick and F15, Joker, Marty, and Puddle are all getting commercial-free viewing on Twitch for the next 30 days. Thank you for that, Razar. Yeah, this thing's all made of aluminum. Aluminium. The aluminium is strong with this one. We're almost there. It's just secret screws I'm fighting with. Are you going on vacation? I am going on vacation for about 2 weeks, or a week and a half. Yeah. I'll be back around the 8th, and then we'll see about streams and stuff like that. I will be gone, taking a break, getting out of here. Darn it. I don't want to rip wires trying to get these things unplugged. This is the power button cable. It's attached on here. Okay. All right. And the palm rest is off. Okay, so, you know, at the starting we were like, this is great, it's modular, it's really easy to work on. Well, it took me forever to even get to a point where I could actually measure the power rail. So I kind of like, yes and no, it's good. Yes, it's good, no, it's good. All right, so we have a modular GPU here. CPU is built on the motherboard. I'm trying to think of what year this would be. I think these boards are pretty cheap, but I realize there must be a reason why they sent it to me instead of replacing the board, and it might be because we don't have the board or we can't get them. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because they wanted me to save another precision. Oh, I think it's because I remember now. So this machine needs to be fixed because I think they have software on it that is tied to the motherboard. That's what it is. So it's not a matter of fixing or just replacing the motherboard. It's a matter of getting the machine working to work with their software. That's what it is. So 2015, is that what it is? 2015, I'm trying to look at, there's a date over here. So the motherboard's an LAC551P. But anyway, let's measure around, see if we have any shorts. The DC jack plugs in over here on this daughter board. Around here, I think. Or underneath this daughter board. There's a couple SMCs. I need some power rails. Here, I'll just check over here on the CPU. And we have a MOSFET. Okay, so we're going to measure right here, coming in on this capacitor going into this. This should be the main power rail. Yep. So this is the output. This is the MOSFET that reduces the voltage, and this will be the input voltage. and we have, I'm trying to press hard to try to get the ohms rating here, but 0.35 ohms on that side, and God, I'm pressing hard. I think I need a, there we go, whatever. So that's my rel is about 0.1. So this side is our actual short here. And so we do have a short. It is almost a dead short, but it could be even a CPU short on a MOSFET because the measurement's right around 0.3 or so. So now we can actually figure out what is causing it, because at first we didn't want to plug it in because I don't want to just short out the charger. But the idea is when we have a short on our main power rail, which is the 20 volts that powers all the other power rails, the machine's supposed to have these MOSFETs that shut off. They're like little switches that say, hey, there's too much current coming in, let's shut that off. It doesn't turn off the charger, it just keeps the board from energizing. But if it's actually shorting out and turning off the charger, that means that our protection MOSFETs are actually shorted too, which we can actually check that. If I can get to those MOSFETs, they might be right here. Oh, let's see. Well, we got 1,293 people viewing. Not bad, guys. Welcome. If it's your first stream, give me a shout out to say, hey, first stream. Just say first. I want to see. I want to see how many first-time viewers are here. I'm going to take this daughter board out of here. Now, you probably watched my videos. You just haven't watched the stream, or it's hard to catch it. And so you're finally catching a stream. And you're saying, man, I cannot believe I made it. All right, there we go. Rem. Rem is here. Positive. Mel is here. Welcome. Lead Farmer's here. Circuit, not first. CPU. Can the CPU short the charger? It can. So if the MOSFET that goes to the CPU is shorted, like it basically, because it's only supposed to run at 1 volt. If it's shorted out, it will do it. Got Yogi. We have L. Second time. Paul's here for the second time. Zach, first time also. Daniel. Alfred. Rick. Welcome, guys. Good job. I'm glad you made it. Okay, DC jack plugs in. Where's the DC jack plug in at, guys? DC jack's here. It routes over here, plugs in right there. So this is what we're looking for, is the electronics on the other side of that. And of course, there's nothing here. So that means it's on the other side of the board. So we'll look at that in a second. We'll look at that in a second. I think I just want to pull the heatsink off of here. You know what? We can actually take the GPU out of the picture and see if the short goes away, because it could just be a shorted GPU. Chosen just resubbed for 2 months. Thank you for that. Not first, but posting aliens are fun. Probing aliens are fun. That's what it is. I probed another alien. First stream. And the mods are awesome. These guys are working hard. MT, second or third stream. Whatever it takes, 2 or 3. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Just realized that I do not have my Twitch stream pulled up right. Okay, there we go. That's interesting. All right, so I'm going to unplug these, pull these things out. You have a 7720, very interesting to me. So it's good to see that the inside of a 7720, 7710 are very close. They're almost identical as for the layout. So Tazzy just gifted 5 memberships over there on YouTube. Thank you for that there, Tazzy. So you got Finn and Dink and Roaming and Kay and Floor. All got YouTube memberships. Welcome to the coolest fan clubs, guys. So the idea here is that we actually have a modular GPU. I'm going to remove this here, and we'll see if the main power rail short is gone. Just got to figure that out, though. I watch often, and I've owned a Dell for decades. There's people who watch who've never even owned a Dell. Did you know that? There's people who are non-technical that watch. Did you know that? All right, so I have the GPU removed, and I have the heatsink off of here. So now I'm going to actually measure that same power rail again, which I think was right here. And so we still have a short, so it's not the CPU. I think I smell some pizza. I smell a pizza. Let's go ahead and just inject some voltage here. I think we're ready to go. So the idea here is that we have a short on our main power rail. So I've explained this so many times, but we have 20 volts comes in, and then that goes to each one of these power rails, 3 volt, 5 volt, 1.8, 1.2, the CPU, the GPU, things like that. But what will happen is you'll have a short that, or there's capacitors on all those power rails that actually go from the positive side of the power rail to ground. And some of those capacitors will actually crack with heat and time and age and all that stuff. So you'll have all these little guys here that will end up going into a wire, basically. It just cracks in half. And so it will connect one side all the way to ground, and then that will become the short. Now, if we can identify what that is and get that replaced, then we call those easy pizzas, just because of our favorite YouTube channel that fixes these things, fixes these boards too, Soren over there at Electronic Repair School, and he charges the price of a pizza to change out one of those. So, but that's a UK pizza prices though. Now, my pizzas are not $250. So I'm just going to find another area over here to inject voltage, and then we're going to monitor it under the thermal camera and see what gets hot. So let's find something. This one? This? No? Have a safe trip. Have to run. Hey, thank you. Thanks there, Gritty. Okay, so no short over here on that one. Let me see if I can find... Okay, this one should be good. Right here. So we just found a capacitor, and this capacitor was going into this MOSFET to produce that other power rail, but we know our main power rail is shorted, so... And then we're just trying to find which one has the lower resistance, this side or this side. This side has the higher resistance, so we're going to inject onto this side. And I'm getting 0.3, so we'll inject right there, and then we'll just monitor the whole board under the thermal camera. Easy burrito, because we're in Texas. Yep, and if it takes us a long time to fix it, then it's an easy lobster dinner. It's always easy though. I had a guy come in the other day, and he wanted. I told him, I said, "Oh yeah, it sounds like it looks to me like you have a short on probably your PD controller, or this chip needs to be replaced right here." And so then, because I was like pointing out this chip, I was like, "Yeah, it's probably this chip. I just need to change that out. Probably will fix it." And he's like, "Well, then I need a discount. That's easy. You're making it easy." I'm like, "It doesn't mean that that's the issue. I'm like just telling you, like it could be that issue." But it's like, you know, all this stuff is not straightforward. So, you know, what I'm doing is I'm using my educated guess, but still, it's only because I have worked on these things tons of times that I will have the knowledge to even figure out if that's the right one or not, you know. So that's kind of what you have to think about. So we are under the thermal camera now. I'm going to do a voltage injection. I have the tool set to, well, actually, we'll go down to like 0.8, 0.7. We'll start there. Maybe we'll do 6, 7. What's going on here with my camera? It's moving. Thanks for paying, paying for the knowledge. You're paying for the knowledge. Thank you. Let me see if I can fix this camera here. You're not paying for the knowledge. You're paying for the time. That's what it is. Yeah, exactly. So you're paying for knowledge. You're not paying for time. And these people who are just like think that because I could just swap a board, because I was going to save them money by actually not swapping the board, but they wanted me to just fix it for less. All right, so I'm injecting right here on this one capacitor right there, okay? And then we're just gonna see if we can find something on the board getting hot. So I'm gonna hold my hand out of the way and see if I can move this around. And I already see something over here. Look right over here. We do it again. I'm only pulling 1 amp, but you can see it heating up right here on this edge. And it looks diffuse, so it looks like it's on the other side of the board. You guys concur? Do you concur? So I think we found it. It's going to be in this area somewhere. So this looks like the power phases for the CPU. So we have our CPU here. We have two power phases. They only populated 2 of them, so I'm assuming this is a lower end CPU. Because if it would have a third one, then it would probably be an i9 or an i7. But I bet this is like an i5 or something like that. I can't tell. I don't see the SR number here. But I'm assuming it's an i5 or i6. Oh, here it is. SR2FN. So if someone wants to look that up, SR2FN. And so the thing is that they did not put the third power phase here. And so we only have 2 of them, but we have some sort of heat right here. I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of capacitor probably on the other side of the board. I don't think it's one of those themselves, but there's no LLM on this machine. This is pre-liquid metal inside of machines. But if we measure here, we have 6 ohms. We have 6 ohms here. So the CPU is measuring 6 ohms, but our main power rail is measuring 0.3. So we can rule out it being one of these MOSFETs. So if you wanted to measure across here to here, you can also see if that's measuring the same. It would be 0 if one of these were shorted, because we've seen that in the past. But because we're not having voltage or continuity across this, then we know it's not one of those. So I think it's a capacitor probably on the other side of the board. That's just my guess. Oh, it's a Xeon. Okay, so it's a Xeon E3-1505. Is that any good? I mean, Xeons are pretty awesome, but what does that equate to? Is that like a 6th gen or something? Or 8th gen? So how does it compare? Easy cap, yes. But how easy is it when we get all this stuff taken out? So 5th gen most likely, 350 megahertz. 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 2.9 gigahertz. Leon. We love the Leons. Leons are the best. It's old. It's old. 2016 is what this motherboard says. So that must have been released in 2015. In '15, back in the day when the cars were not driving themselves. It's Back to the Future year, right? Isn't that the day whenever cars were supposed to be flying? Was in 2015? So back in the day whenever cars were supposed to be flying, but they aren't. Q3 of 15. Okay, so it's the 3rd quarter of 15 is when it was released, and this board came out in the 10th month of 16. So the 4th quarter of 16. All right, so SR2FN's Intel Spec Xeon E3 6th gens Kaby Lake. So they're saying it's a 6th gen. 6th generation. Leons are even rarer than Ricky's. It's prior to FM 215 Haswell. Grumpy, donor board member for a month. Thank you. Love the channel. Thank you for that. Welcome to the donor board member club. You are now a donor board member. I don't know why I'm speaking in this accent. Because I'm crazy Nate. All right, so the motherboard is coming out slowly but surely. All right, and the motherboard is out. That did take a long time. But we can now access what was getting hot right here on the edge of this board. I feel like I just took out every single screw that ever existed in this whole universe to get to this board, to get it out. And it's going to be one of these. There's a couple of capacitors here. Which one are you going to be? Let's see if we can see it visually. Visualize. All right. Okay, it's time for you guys to put your guess in. So we're going to say, so in chat, okay? In chat, you ready? You're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. All right, so which one do you think it's going to be? But I guess we could be these little tiny guys too. But I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I can zoom in a little bit more so you can get a little bit more of an educated guess. But let's see. There we go. Is that better? Anybody? Okay. All right, so what's the collective? 4? I see 4 a lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 or 5. 1.5. 4, 3, 4. I see 4 a lot. I haven't even made a decision yet. I was gonna, okay, so 6 or 0. So I would say anything that's outside of those numbers are gonna be one of these smaller ones. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be one of these. So I'm gonna kind of hone in on this one here and just take a look at it real quick. It's hard to get perfect focus on that. This one's definitely discolored, but it could be just a different rating. And this one has that weird little mark on there, but we don't know what that means. But if you look at the background, oh gosh, I can't. It's hard to look at it when it's that close. What I'm looking for is heat, so I don't think it's one of those. It's definitely going to be one of these, I believe, because I can see the background is a little bit hotter, like on the ground right here. But it could not even be any of those. So we could be sitting here just saying that, and it's nothing. Let me pull this thing out of my way. Hate these little covers. All right, let's inject some voltage here. Well, let's measure first, make sure we have a short. All right, positive side is going to be the side with the via here. So I'll just inject voltage right here. Or maybe I'll do it on, yeah, I'll do it right here on this one. And then we'll see. Gosh, microscope cam is slow again. Hold on, let me see if I can speed that up. There we go. I don't know what's going on with my microscope. It's acting crazy. Okay. Going thermal in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, I'll move it so it's better viewed. But I can't see it if I do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like the contrast of this drives me crazy. Can you see that better? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's this further one, not this inside one. What do you think? See how this one's getting hot? Yeah, because this one's there and this one's there. So yeah, I think it's that one. We can put some alcohol on it, we'll confirm. And then we're gonna blow it up. We're gonna make it go thermal nuclear. So I just upped the voltage to a volt. So now we're gonna have a couple amps going through it. And I'm gonna put some alcohol on here. It's bubbling. Yeah, it's definitely drying up. That's it. I would love to, I just want to put like all the volts in it. I just want all the volts. We're gonna go up higher because we know it's not going in the CPU. Although if it does blow up and then it sends the voltage to it, no, it's not gonna do anything. But I do like seeing it sizzle. Anyway, so there you go, it's sizzling. So we know it's gonna be that far one. We're just gonna take that thing off of there. So these are pretty straightforward when you have this type of situation. It's basically, the gist is that we have our main power rail, our 20 volts is actually being shorted back down to ground because this has become a wire. So I'm assuming it probably has a crack on the back. Why is my microscope so laggy? You can see it's like laggy. And so I usually just reboot it and it fixes it. I'll reboot it again. There you go, much better. Okay, now I go back to this view. Okay, I don't know why it didn't fix it last time when I did that. All right, so let's just get that removed. Take 2 seconds. I think you see the crack in number 3. Do you see the crack? That's just a hair. Maybe on this edge a little bit. I'm gonna pull this off and then we'll look at the bottom of it. Yeah, sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. But what I was looking at is I could see the discoloration on the board itself, and that's why I thought it was gonna be one of these. No cap, no crack. No short. Oh, look, you can see a piece of the cap right there. Oh, there's the crack on the bottom. You see it now? So this is what, sometimes you'll see the crack on the top, and this one's on the bottom. See how? It's like a ceramic cap, so it's almost like glass or like a plate material, you know? And so you can even see a piece right here on the board. So there you go. So now that we have that taken off of there, the short should be gone, and the board should actually start up and start working. So no short here. So we'll just grab another capacitor. I don't know what value these are. This should be a 10. What should this be? I think it's a 10 or a 4 or what? 4.7? Who wants to say? I have a 20, no, let's see. I have a 10 microfarad and I have a 4.7. Those are the only two that I have right here. They're brand new. So 10. Go with the 10. Strong like bull. So we'll do a 10 on it. Are these 0804s, 0803s? Look like they are. That's what we're gonna go with. Oh, this thing's bigger. It's bigger. More capacitance is not gonna hurt anything. This is an upgrade. We're upgrading it. This is just to stabilize the voltage going into the CPU's power rail. It's not a balanced line or anything like that. That needs some sort of special value. Where's my flux at? 1.21 gigawatts. There's an extra charge for the upgrade, right? So I'm just going to add a little bit of fresh leaded solder on here since I'm not pre-tinning my capacitor. More power. All right, so we have that there. It even has a performance color. 2 pizzas in one. I don't know if this counts as a pizza. This definitely counts as a burrito. The last one definitely is not a pizza. So I'm just attack it on there, and then we'll make it sit more pretty, more better. There we go. Okay. Tissues. So we'll get this cleaned up while it's warm. That way we can get rid of any of this residue that's left over. It's bigger in Texas, that's right. This is a Texas size. What I did is I put a Texas size capacitor on here to keep this thing from blowing out, because you gotta make sure that the thing ain't gonna blow out again, man. You know what I mean? So that's the Boomhauer in me. All right, so we do have the new capacitor installed. Now, who thinks this is gonna fix it? Hopefully everybody. Hopefully we get 100% on that one. There's not much to this. And I guess we'll put it back in here. We can check to see if the short's gone on the main power rail while we're at it. And no short on the main power rail, so that's good. Annoying. I have to install everything just to install this. So that's a lot of work. Should I move this RAM to the top? I feel like I should. I'll do that later. So I'm not going to finish up all the final details when we do these things. We always just do this live. We just kind of get it working, do the basic test on it, and then it's usually good to go. But so we're just going to bolt this on. We'll put the GPU in it. It's fixed. I can't believe. Wait for us to have picture, and then you can't believe. I can't believe. No one can believe. A poll for sure. Do we have a poll going right now? What's the poll? Oh, will it work? There you go. That was easy enough. It's like magic. Whenever I think of something, it just happens. How is that possible? It's because I have really good mods out there. My mods are crazy good. Not available, just it became a Coolest Fans member. Welcome. The Coolest Fans member. Wow, plug-in GPU. I know, upgradable, modular, better, faster, GPU. And just a little bit of good stuff on here. Just happy little elves. I know, right? I just think of it and it just happens. It's genius. What time is it? I was going to try to end a little bit early today. It's my wife's birthday. So I was going to maybe end by noon if I could. So 45 minutes. I didn't tell you all ahead of time because I didn't want to break your hearts, but we're going to try to not spend all this time here. So many daughter boards. You get a daughter board. You get a daughter board. They're all over the place. Happy birthday, Crystal. Happy birthday to her. Get her some flowers. Yeah, we're going to do some fun stuff today. But we are getting ready for our trip, so I will be out of town for the next couple weeks and leave on Wednesday. So no live stream Wednesday, no live stream the next Sunday, and then possibly no live stream the next Sunday after that, or Wednesday after that. So I'm still trying to figure that out, what time I get back in town. But we are getting ready for our trip, and it's always kind of a running around situation. All right, so we're just going to get just enough stuff here plugged in. The power button is probably useful. Son got married yesterday. Congratulations. That's always fun. The fun for the son. My kids are not old enough to get married yet. Get her the coolest Alienware. That'd be funny. Yeah. Hey, hon, I got you an Alienware. She does use the computer at home, but it's not an Alienware. You know what's funny here? You guys would probably get a joke kick out of this. So the computer I had at home for like the family computer that we used for years was a 2nd gen i3 with like 8 gigs of RAM. We used that for 10 years or more. It worked fine, never had an issue. And then there was a lightning storm the other day and it blew out the power supply. So I went ahead and just replaced it to like a 12th gen or something. But it's funny because it worked fine. It did everything. We had a printer hooked to it, so we would just go in there. We would, the kids would use it to print stuff, and it was just basic use stuff. It wasn't anything. But all right, so we do have that plugged in. I'm not even going to hook a keyboard in here because it's more of a pain to hook the keyboard up. But actually, here I'll just plug a USB keyboard into it because we'll need to be able to access some menus. All right. So I'm going to plug in the power. Let's reset the power meter. 12 amps. What did we have plugged in here before? All right, so power meter's plugged in, pulled up, and we're going to plug it in with power 3, 2, 1. It did not short the charger, but it did not pull any current. Why is that? Does anyone know why? We had 0 current go in. Did we break something? Did we cause more issues? Or did I forget something? Anybody? I did not plug in the DC jack. There's your sign. So no current. No current. Okay, so 92% of the people in the world are saying that the machine will work. All right, so 92% of the people in the entire world, because you guys are a good kind of snapshot of what the world would say if the question was asked. Will this work? 92%. So I want to know who the 8% is. I just want to know who you are. Raise your hand. Raise that hand of yours. All right, plugging in 3, 2, 1. And we have current draw. Why do we have so much current draw right off the bat? I don't know. That seems like a lot. 1.75. I don't know if I like that. What's going on here? Is it starting up? That's a crazy amount. Hold on. I'm going to unplug this. Is it charging? I don't even have a battery in there, bro. This is not what's supposed to happen. Okay, 3, 2, 1, plug it in. I mean, it almost seems like that's startup because it went to 0, went down to 2, went down to 0.09, so it moved around a little bit like it was a startup process. So let's see if it does a CMOS reset. Let's see if it stays flatlined or see if it moves around a little bit. We have a power button right here. I don't have a light on it. I'm going to hold down the power button and see if it shuts off. Okay, it does shut off, but it's still pulling 0.4 with it off. Okay, now it's off. Interesting things just became a coolest fan members. Thank you. And Ray just used his Prime sub for 2 months. Thank you. All right, so it is off. Let's press the power button again. All right, so that was a CMOS reset. It was powering on. All right, so pay attention to where it's going. We want to see if it does get past this 37 watts that's sitting at 30 watts. As long as it's moving around, I'm very happy. We're going to let it sit and move around. I'm going to have a cup of coffee, a little bit of coffee while we're doing this. Did you plug a CMOS battery back in? I did not, and that's my on purpose, because CMOS batteries cause more problems than anything, so just keep it unplugged, keep it out of the picture. You don't need it in there. I'm not even plugging CMOS batteries back in on some machines now because it causes more issues. Because if it goes a little bit flat or half flat, then the machine won't start. So as long as the current's still moving around, we're happy. It's just, it will load. It will happen. It's coming, guys. It's coming. Believe me, you'll hear me say the words momentarily. The fans are not on. Did I plug in the fans? I did plug in the fans. They're not on. The machine turned off again. Is it going to come back on? Should come back on its own. We have no lights. It did not come back on just now. I mean, I can put a new CMOS battery in it if it needs it, but so it just turned off and never came back on. Let's try pressing the power again. So normally it will turn on for a little while, move around, turn off, then come back on, and do that a few times, and we'll just keep doing this over and over again. Now, I'm not seeing any light here. I do have the actual power button plugged in, so we should get light codes if we're getting it. Or light codes up here, but I don't know if I have these plugged in, actually. I think the light code would be up here. So let me see, I might need to plug that in. We might be getting a light code. So it is just hanging, flatlining. Let me hit enter. Oh, I hear fans now. The fans are spinning for a second and then just shut off. Is it going to come back on? Come back on? Come back on? Okay, hold on. I had a power button light now. Did you see that? Is the caps lock working? Suspect. We did have fan spin. I know, that's what I'm starting to think. Is it no display? But caps lock is not working. But I mean, I don't know if this daughter board works either. It is flatlining. And the fans are spinning by itself and then shutting off. So it's sitting there hanging there for a little while and shutting off. Okay, so let's figure out what that is. So we fixed the power on issue. So CMOS is unplugged. I'm going to take their memory and move it over, I think. Or reseat their memory. I also want to make sure that we have... Where's these lights plug in at? I feel like I had this plugged in. We should have light codes on the front. Constant current means dead brain, which means that like a BIOS issue or something, but I doubt this thing has a BIOS issue. Although we've seen it. We've seen weird stuff like that. All right, so I'm just going to move this stick over here and just run with one stick and see what it does. What is this? When I put this motherboard back in, I must have not plugged something in. Where does that go? Ah, that's our indicator light that we're looking for. Another laptop saved. Another laptop fixed. Here, let me take this palm rest back off real quick. Because I need to get this indicator light turned on because I bet it's giving me a light code. Do you use the wrong capacitor? It's a 25 volt capacitor, so wrong is relative with just the voltage usually. Here we go. Our indicator light plugs in here, and our indicators are here, and that would be where our light codes are. And I have it just like kind of plugged under this motherboard here. Let me grab it. 1,388 viewers. I wonder if we can get 1,500 today. The only way to get more viewers is you have to like the stream, the YouTube stream, and then whenever everyone all of a sudden starts liking them, then it starts getting pushed out to all these new people. So as an experiment, you could do that right now to see if we can get this up to like 1,500 people. All right. Twitch, you can't do that. I think Twitch, I don't know how to get more people on Twitch. You generally just, I guess, chat a lot or lurk, put the lurking symbol there. Start with the battery, that could be it. I don't know, we'll check the battery in a second. I want to see if we can get a light code here. That's why I'm plugging in the indicator lights. If I can get this seated in here properly. Okay, got that. All right, who hasn't voted? The pizza cost is down to $9. See, that's what I'm saying. See, this is exactly the whole point. Whenever you have something that looks easy or is easy or whatever it is, but it's not actually easy, you know, because the fact that it was just a capacitor doesn't always mean it's just a capacitor. All right, so I have my indicator light plugged in now. Plug this back in. Tazzy just gifted 5 subs. Thank you for that, Tazzy. Dave, Jock, Sky, Raj, and The Major. Just got yourself a gifted membership over there on YouTube. Coolest fans. You're coolest fans now. Hey, we got a power button light now. We didn't have that before. Huh. What did we do different? It turned off. And we have a light up here. It's turning back on. 34. What did we do? 30 amp, 1.4 amps, 28 watts. We're just kind of looking to see if it's doing anything different. All I did was just kind of added the indicator light, but I did move the memory actually. We did take out a stick of memory and move it over. So going to come back on. Good, it's coming back on. If we can get above that 34 watts, 35 watts, I think it was our max. 1.93 amps was our highest. So if we can get above that, then I think we're cooking. I think we're cooking with bacon grease. Come on. It lives, kind of. Get above 1.93 amps, and then I'll be happy. It turned off again. As long as it's cycling on and off, I'm okay with it. If it just keeps doing that over and over again, I'm happy. It will just take like 5 times of doing that, and then we should get picture. And we have picture. I can't believe I saved another laptop. Now, how did I save this laptop? I don't know exactly what the issue was, but we did have a short on the main power rail. It was just a capacitor. Now, we did have to play a little bit of a game, and I don't know if we changed around the memory to get the thing to turn on, but at first it almost was like the machine wasn't working, but we do have it turning on now. We do have picture, and I know everyone was doubting me. I'm sure if we put a poll up there, everyone was like, what are you doing, man? You don't know what you're talking about. But we do have it working. It is booting up, and do confirm that this is a Xeon E5 1505 GPU or CPU from the circa 2015. And these machines are super modular, where you can take them apart and actually upgrade very easily. Very hard to work on, I would say. So it's a little bit harder. It's almost like having a car. It's easy to change the oil, but it's harder to, you know, change something like the battery or something like that. But we do have this thing up and running. I'm sure it does actually boot up the Windows and actually works. Yep, no bootable device, so I don't have anything in there. On these types of faults, it's not generally any other issue besides that main power rail capacitor that just got cracked. So definitely solved the issue on that one. Now I'm going to add this other stick of memory in here just to make sure that it still works with the other stick of memory. And maybe it wanted that indicator light plugged in, for all I know. So let me plug this back in, see if it still posts. Well done there, Taz. Taz did it, see? It was all those gifted memberships by Taz is what made this happen. Put the memory back in. I put the lime in the coconut, guys. So we have the other stick of memory in here now, so it's going to have to actually do a little bit of testing again, and it will say the memory amount of memory has changed, and we still have picture, so I cannot believe. And I'm going to restart this thing. See if I can go into diagnostics. They're on the final one of 32 games. No! This is a latitude thing. All right, so what's the last machine? Oh, I know what the last machine is. What am I doing here? Why is this not working now? This USB was just working. Oil can! The memory slots. Did I just mess with something here? Because it's working, it's actually posting. I'll have to plug a keyboard into it. Proper nice keyboard here. Is this school for the ants? Oh gosh. Thank you for that cool breeze. I plug this keyboard in. USB not loaded. Well, the USB just worked a second ago. We just used the USB. That's why I'm like, that doesn't seem like, why would it change? So I'm just gonna plug the regular keyboard in. Bad stick of memory. I mean, it could be locking up for all I know. So that's why I want to have the real keyboard plugged in to see if we have some sort of issue, because it could just be a bad module. Put the memory in slot, the first two slots, so underneath here. So the keyboard's working now. So I don't know why the USB wasn't working just now. Let's see, let me plug this back in. I bet I know why. I bet this card came undone. I didn't put the screws in the daughter board, so I think the daughter board's just coming unplugged. I think that's what's actually happening. Because the daughter board's just sitting in there, and so it just kind of sits onto a thing, and then you put screws in. So I don't think the daughter board's staying plugged in, but it is working. I'll go through and finish all that stuff up whenever I rebuild this machine tomorrow. We'll clean up all the fans, the heat sinks. I'll do all the diagnostic and testing, but we do have the thing turning on, and it is actually working now. So definitely one of the more simple repairs, but it did look like we weren't going to fix it for a moment. So we're moving on to the last one. Now I am cutting the stream a little short today because I am going to go home. It is my wife's birthday, so I'm going to have a little party for her. So this is going to be a M18 R1. And it has a power rail failure, okay? So when we have a power rail failure, again, it's one of those things where you have a light code that's telling you something has failed. One of the power rails have failed. I don't know which one, but it's gonna be one of those power rails failed. So, you know, I've already diagnosed it for you, so you're good to go, right? So that's like a repair shop handing you something where they don't know what's going on, but they at least tell you, or even an owner of the laptop saying, I've diagnosed it for you, one of the power rails are bad. Right, so it's not telling us anything, but we'll have to figure that out. So it's a 3.5 error code is what we should be getting, but let's go ahead and just do our intro, and then we'll figure it out. Oh, actually, we do our note. We usually read the customer's note, too. Happy birthday, Mrs. Potts person. I will let her know that everyone says happy birthday. She's 29, all over again. She never gets older than 29. I get older, she stays the same age. That's how that works. Don't you know that? That rule? Oh gosh. Okay. Main issue with the laptop is suddenly powered off while gaming. Attempted to power it on results in a 3.5 power rail failure and the keyboard backlight. Same behavior off of AC adapter. Second issue is one of the fans sometimes sticks at 0 RPM. Switch to power modes will sometimes triggers a self-test, usually finding nothing, but the LCD backlight bleeds in the upper corner. That happens like with LCD screens. Sometimes you have like a little light bleed. Please replace the LLM with leaking liquid metal with the PTM 7950, and then I'll do the fan mod and the DDR power rail main issue. So this is what we're going to address. There's all these different things here, and then and this is Hunters from JFix's Discord. So Hunters, if you're there, say hi to everyone. Hopefully you're in the chat right now, because we got your laptop ready to cook. You ready? Oh, all right. So Mrs. Nate's Fountain of Youth. Yeah, so we had a 2-1, then we had a 3-5. No, we had a 0, and then we're having a 3-5. This is a 3-5. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Do you concur? All right, new day and another laptop that needs to be saved, and this time we have an Alienware M18R1. Now, this one actually worked until it shut off during a game and never came back on. Now the customer is getting a 3.5 error code, points to some sort of power rail failure. Doesn't tell you what power rail is failing. He definitely wants me to see if I can resolve that issue. Also, there was some sort of fan issue where the fan was not spinning at full speed. He also wants me to remove the liquid metal and put PTM 7950 on it, but I haven't taken a look at this yet. Let's take a look together and see if we can get this figured out. Boom, there we go. So got that intro nailed, bro, nailed. All right, so first thing I want to do is see if it turns on. We're going to see if we can see if it powers on. Press the power button, and no tengo nada, or no tienes nada, I guess. It doesn't have anything, so nothing's happening when I hit the power button. Let's go ahead and pull up the power meter, and let me zero it out. And so when I plug in the power, keep an eye on the power meter. I just want to see how much current it pulls. So sitting there, goes up to 17 watts, 18 watts, 19 watts, right around there. So look at that wattage. We want to see if it ever gets past that. Now this is going to be going through a startup process. Normally on these big giant machines, they go to about 60 watts, 55, 60 watts, and they'll sit there for a couple minutes while it's doing a CMOS reset and programming the EC chip and doing RAM training and stuff like that. But if we don't get past 18 watts, so we do have keyboard backlight now, that just came on. So now we're up at 19 watts, 20 watts, whatever it takes. So 1 watt max. Hunter's BN laptop, yes. Are you here? I didn't see it. But he's here, yeah, so it's Hunter's laptop. So we have his laptop here, and so we'll see if we can get this thing to turn on. So 1 watt, 1 amp, not amp, 1 amp max, yes. So it got up to that, and that hasn't got past that. It's just sitting here hanging here. It's not moving around. The machine isn't turning on and off, turning on and off. That's what we want when we're going through the startup process. So to me, it looks like it's kind of stuck. And so we do have a power rail failure. Oh, do we even have a light code? I didn't even notice. You guys are supposed to tell me. All right, so we'll do red first. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. So we have our 3.5 error code, and I'm going to go ahead and power this thing off. You guys are cracking me up. Sorry. We're going to go ahead and power it off and open up the bottom, take a look inside. Oh, the error code. Yeah, I'll pull up the error codes for us so we can actually look at it. I know I sometimes just tell you guys what it is, but so a 3.5 does point to some sort of power rail failure. Hold on, I gotta pull it up here. Okay, so what we're looking at here, so I just searched for Alienware M18R1 light codes, and we're gonna come to this one, and so it's a 3.5, so it had 3 blue, 5 red, or 3 red, 5 blue, and that points to a power rail failure. It doesn't tell us what, it doesn't tell us where, it doesn't know why. It's just one of the power rails, so one of the things, the 3 volt, the 5 volt, the 1.8, something that powers the RAM, something that powers the chipset, or something like that. Something is errored out, right? It doesn't have power. It doesn't tell us, because that's how friendly it is, or that's how smart it is, or however you want to look at it. So it's just like not knowledge. The thing's alive a little bit, but we do know it's actually powering on. We do know it does have some power. All right, and the bottom is off. All right, quick look around. We do have the main battery. It is unplugged, and main battery is OEM. Does have a serial number there. The font looks nice. The does have a Dell logo. We have 2 sticks of DDR5. Looks like 16 gig modules, so 32 gigs of RAM. We do have 1 NVMe, 2280, it is populated. 3 fans on this machine, with the fan that blows at the DDR5 memory, but it only blows on one side, so this side gets really hot. This whole area actually gets really hot. The fans do look pretty clean. I don't know if they cleaned it afterwards before they sent it in to us, but they also said that one of the fans is failing, or it's not registering, so it could have a big dust bunny in there that's clogging it sometimes and not other times, for all I know. So there's not much you can measure on this side of the board, but the first thing I always want to measure in general is going to be our main power rail, and then our whatever we can measure on the side of the board. I'm going to take the Wi-Fi card out and the SSD out while we're at it. We don't want those in the picture. 3.5 equals broken. I vote memory issue. All right, so who's voting memory issue? So if we look here, we know that we have the main power rail because the machine's powering on. So the power comes into the machine, into the laptop, and that gets separated into all the other voltage rails. Now, if we have the keyboard coming on, we have the power button responding, it means we have the EC chip on, if the power button is responding. If we have the keyboard on, and we're having light codes, that's going to be a 3 volt and 5 volt are present. So we already have all of our power rails. So what's going on here, right? So what power rail would we be missing and still have the thing come on? And so we can look around. There's not much you can measure on this side of the board. That's why I hate this model, because you can't measure anything on this side. But here's where our power comes into the motherboard. So our main power rail was fine. That's ground. This is our main power rail right here. No issue. And there's nothing else to measure except for our DDR5 power rail right here. This is what powers our DDR5 memory. It's a 5 volt power rail, and to access that is easy on this board itself. So I'll measure. This is the main power rail coming over here, and oops, it almost looked like we had a short on the main power rail, but we didn't. But we tried to check that over there at the DC jack, but that's not the main power rail. That's coming into the machine and still goes through MOSFETs. So no short on the main power rail. But here's our chip that actually produces 5 volt, and we measure right here. Oh, we do have a short on this one. So it does look like we do have a short on our DDR5 power rail for our RAM. And if we look at it, it's about 0.15-ish. So that's almost a 0 ohm short. Now, I've seen commonly, let me just get this out of the way, these RAM sticks will short out. So I would say it's almost like 20% of the time when I have this machine come in for the shorted DDR5 power rail, it's one of the sticks of RAM. Because DDR5 is so spicy. They run so spicy. So I'm going to take out both the RAM sticks and make sure that they're not shorted. So I'm going to just take them out, and then now we'll measure the power rail again. And if it resolves the issue, then it was just a spicy stick. And it's still shorted. All right, so we know now that we have a short over here. And I get a few of these in every month for this exact same issue. And I'm going to let you guys know, I know exactly which capacitors it's going to be when it happens. It's going to be this one, 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 or this one, this one, this one, this one, or that one. Any of this size. So any of these that you see this size will go bad. Doesn't tell me which one. I have no idea why. I mean, I know it's a heat issue, but it's only these. I never have these big ones out. I never have any of these other ones that are out. It's only these rows right here that go out. Okay, so you guys pick whichever one you want. We'll do some visual on it, but I never see it. And I never go thermal on this one either. Whenever I'm working on this, I never go thermal because I don't need to. So this looks suspicious right there, a little line there. This one looks suspicious right there. There's a little line there. This looks a little darker, like it has some heat over here. But I don't know. This one, the dot looks okay. See how it's like if I just touch the top, it makes marks, so it's kind of hard. But I think one of those might be an issue because it's a little darker around there. See how around the edges down towards the board? And then over here, checking these. These happen less often, but they definitely have happened. Those all look okay to me. Like that one has a little mark there, but I don't think that's it. There is a mark on top. But so if I was going to be a guessing person, I would guess it's going to be one of these. But you guys can kind of put in, so zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. So I'm guessing zone 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I'm guessing zone 3. So while y'all are doing that, I'll get all this set up. I'm not going to do a thermal camera on this because I don't need it, but I will inject voltage. So we're going to use alcohol instead of a thermal camera. So I never use the thermal camera on this repair ever. When I know it's that, I just put it down to 0.7 volts. I take my alcohol and I'm going to put alcohol across here, although I need to refill my alcohol tray here. Put alcohol there, put alcohol there, and put alcohol over here. And I just do a wide angle shot so I can see it all in one blow. Gosh, I'm out of alcohol. Okay. All right, so we're all lined up. Find a good ground. Okay, you guys ready? It's gonna be a capacitor. You guys see it? I see it already. I'll add more here to everywhere. Ah, I need more alcohol. Need more alcohol, man. I'll do it again. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. I could see it. Okay. Okay, you guys see it? So if we're looking at these zones, this zone's not moving at all, this zone's not moving at all, but this zone over here is moving. That zone's not moving either. So it's this zone, and I believe it's this very last one. So zone 3, number 4, 3.4. You see how it dried up all around it if I just held it on there? So this is pointing to it, so now I just mark it like that. All right, so that's the one we're going to take off of there. So these are not easy peasy because they're a pain to take off and the pain to put on. You know why? Because we have a memory slot here. Right next to it, we have another NVMe slot here, and we have this other memory slot here. So I have a system that I do in order to get this off of here and replace it safely. So I'm just going to kind of put it in this orientation. And I have a bunch of these metal or aluminium little covers. And so I basically bend a little hook on them like that. And so like this one, which way do I put this one? I think I do it this way on this one. Like that, yeah. So I'll put this across here like that. So that will protect this area. Then I have more of them that I just cut up. And so I'll put one across here like this, like that. I used to just use a bunch of Kapton tape, and then I was having issues with that. So what I want to make is actually, because I work on them enough, I want to make an actual piece that just sits on there and fits in this entire area perfectly and blocks everything. A shield, right? That's easy to do. So then I'll set that one across there. So now we have a kind of a dental dam of working on this. Why don't you use a flat iron on both sides? Because you can't get in there. That's the problem. It's so tiny. So I'm going to use a hot tweezers to get this thing out. But the issue is it's hard to, like, hot tweezers suck in general for working on Alienwares because they're not hot enough. But we have to use hot tweezers to get this off in the first place. But if let's just say I don't have this on here and I'm like, okay, I'm going to work in here, right? So I have, this is off right now, right? Yeah, it's off. So I'm going to work in here, right? So I'm going to come over here and I'm trying to get in here. Look at this. And so I end up melting the tip of that. I end up melting this, trying to get into this angle. You can't do it. So then you have to put Kapton tape or cover up all these things. And so I've done enough of these to know that I hate this. I hate having to get in this area perfectly, but if I have all these guards on here, then I can actually use hot tweezers to get the thing off of there, put leaded solder on there, and then reflow it with 400 degrees C hot air at a lower airspeed, and it works fine. So that's my system. So I have a pair of hot tweezers set up. We have to add a little bit of air too to get it off with the hot tweezers, but we got to do what we got to do. So we can add leaded solder down there right now, but it's a little bit harder to do that. So hot tweezers with 400 degrees, or just a low temperature. I'm not even really using it to actually melt anything, but I'm using it to help. So now we're going to pinch this like this while I'm heating at the same time. And see how hard it is to get off of there, even with hot tweezers and hot air. I'm squeezing it hard too, trying to heat it up. Come on. There we go. Now it's coming. Okay, so now we have it off. So now that it's off, then I switch to a regular soldering iron to install regular leaded solder. But still like really tight operating quarters here. I'm like, my soldering iron's hitting my microscope. Some days I have to do a couple of these in one day, which is funny. Come on. See, and it ends up getting on the other ones next to it. The cap is short. Yeah, we're going to test it in a second. I just want to fix this, and then once we have it all kind of cleaned up and ready to install a new one, then we'll measure. See, I'm hitting my microscope with my soldering iron trying to get in here. So I have to get in a certain angle. And see, this right here must be the positive part of the pad, because the other side's not getting hot enough to actually get the solder on there. So we need to keep the pads up here. Come on, get over there. There we go. Got it. Got it. What'd you say? Since they go off to so bad, change them all out. Whew. No, what I do is I do the fan mod and it fixes it and they never come back. So we're going to do a fan mod after this to fix it and it won't go bad. I'm about to freak out because my microscope keeps hitting my thing here. See, it's just turning into like Freddy Krueger's dungeon of terror. Give me a second. I'm almost out of flux. Almost out. Okay. So now we got, you were guessing zone 4? Easy crappy pizza. Yeah, it's not fun. And yeah, because it is a one that happens a lot, you're like, oh, it's gonna be nice and easy because you've already diagnosed it more or less. But 10-minute warning. Oh shoot, thank you. All right, yeah, we'll get this, hopefully we'll get this done. Okay, so there we go. We got it cleared off. We got 2 little balls on there, ready to go. All right, so now I just want to measure to make sure we don't have our short anymore. And this is reflecting a lot, so I'll move that out of the way. All right, so we'll make sure I don't have a short. We can actually turn the machine on if we wanted to right now, but so let's ground, and this is positive. So this was positive side. It's crazy. This is ground, positive. So we don't have a short here anymore, and we can measure over here. We don't have a short here anymore. So we did resolve the short. Now we could just leave it like this. You know, that is a solution because, you know, they over-engineer things. They put too many parts on there. But because we're going to do it regulation and I want to warranty stuff, I'm going to put a new one on. And I do have this exact cap because I replace them all the time. 10 minutes to go to the wife. 10 more minutes. Yeah, so I am ending early today and I am going on vacation, so no streams for a couple weeks. But you guys can live without me. I'll still put out some videos. I will still put out some videos. I don't know if it'll be good videos. Who knows? We'll see what I can come up with. All right, so this will go like that. So I'm at 400 degrees C at 30% air. My goal is to not melt the plastic around it. So what I'm trying to do is just kind of get it where I can see the solder start melting. See if I can get the camera not to glare so much for you. There you go, that's a little bit better. And I don't put the cap in there until the last second because I don't want to overheat it. So I got one side holding, the other side. It's really tight fit too. Okay, stay. Nope. See, it didn't stick. Let me move my tweezer down on my tweezers on the capacitor. There we go. I'll do it again. It's probably only 100 nano. No, it's a, these are 6 point, wait, what are they? I can tell you in a second. The 6.3 volt, and then there's 0402s, I think. Yeah, I can tell you what the rating is in a second. Okay, so I got that tack on there, and now I'm just going to reflow it one more time. Come on. Getting hot. Got it. All right, so it's not the prettiest because it's hard to get in there, but it is actually installed, and I'll clean that up. Now these shields, like if you want to look at it from higher up, so I have it set up where the shield kind of comes around on each side, so you can kind of get a better bearings of it. I want to make a shield that can just fit on this entire area and goes around all these pieces, and it's just one piece that I kind of cut out the center on. So maybe if I got another one of these and was able to cut the center out on it exactly where it goes, better than Dell. But the main goal is to make it where it never happens again. That's the main thing I want you to think about. So the main problem with this is you have your RAM stick here, and you have airflow here, but you don't have airflow here. And then this is where all these parts are getting overheated. Well, I cut out a section of this fan. You cut the corner out, and then the airflows are right across here. It is like night and day temperature difference. So it's a good mod. I haven't had a single laptop come back that has that, but I've actually had 2 laptops come back where I didn't do the mod. So if I didn't do the mod to it, then they come back. If I do the mod, they haven't come back. And I've been doing the same exact setup for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. So I'll do the fan mod real quick. We only have a couple minutes. I only got 5 minutes, but let's see if this thing turns on now. So we should be good to go. We might have enough minutes to do the fan mod. I've done it on other videos before, so it's not super. The problem is you have to pull the whole motherboard out, pull the heatsink off, and I don't know if I want to do that right now. I have a video on it, though. So you can actually search for M16 or M18R1 fan mod, I think, and I have a video on how to do it. So I'll plug the battery in. And let me plug a 330 watt charger in. I don't know if this thing is a 330 machine, but we'll plug that in. All right, so 330 plugged in. All right, so now you see the current going up. It started out at 18 for a second. Now it's up to 60 watts like I was talking about. So when we turn these things on initially, they should sit at 60 watts for a while they're going through a startup process, and while it's like programming ECs and doing RAM training and testing for other power rails. And so we should get a post out of this. M16 fully automatic. Good idea for the mod. And so the thing is that like the X17 models and the X15, both of them, they had the fans opened up on the inside, so the air blew to the center and blew to the NVMEs. But then on this one, they didn't do that. So I don't really understand why they got rid of that. And then even like the XPS 9700s, 9710s, 9720s, they all have fans blowing to the inside too. They're all blowing to cool off all the components. I think it's a great idea, especially if you have fans all the way around, you know. So add a Dremel. Oh, you could just Dremel a hole into it. That's interesting. Because then you don't have to take it apart. But you have to take it apart to clean the fans out anyway, so. You watched this from 34,000 feet and made your trip go by quickly. It didn't drag on too long there, Drew. Hope not. He's not streaming Wednesday or next Sunday, July 5th. So, and I may be back for July 8th. I'm not sure. I may be getting back late that day. I can't remember exactly when I'm flying in. So I'll figure out a schedule and I'll get it posted to let you guys know. But yeah, so I am taking off. So no stream next Wednesday, no stream next Sunday for sure. And come on, get this to post. AJ, thank you for that. Happy birthday, Mrs. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Nathan's gonna try frog legs and pasta. I've definitely had frog legs. I've had a lot of exotic food. Whenever I travel, I try to eat anything that, if a chef says it's good in that area of the world, give it to me. I'll take it. I will take it. DFW to Salt Lake. I'm flying. Might be going to Salt Lake. I fly Delta, so I usually fly through that. I think I'm flying to Amsterdam. I think we have a straight flight to Amsterdam and then over. Can't remember. All right, so it did kind of turn off and turn back on for a second. Let's see if we do get picture. 50-50 chance of stream on, yes, so 50-50 on Wednesday, July 8th. I would know, I mean, let me check my calendar, actually. I can look and see. Because it might say flight back that day, I can't remember. I'm not the one who's planning the trip, so July 8th. Says Nathan's flight back. Oh, yeah, so no stream that day. So I'm flying back on that Wednesday. So no stream for 3 weeks, or 3 streams from now. So missing 2 Wednesdays and 1 Sunday, if that makes sense. All right, so it turned off, turned back on. Do we have an error code? We do have an error code, guys. Oh gosh, what is it? What is the error code? So it's a 2.4. So we have a 2.4 error code. What does that point to, guys? What does that point to? So we pull up our trusty list. I know what it goes to, but it says memory failure. So our RAM failure. Now, do we have a bad RAM stick? I don't know. Or did I install it janky? Because I've done that before too. So let's check. Did I do a janky install? I don't see a janky install going on. So I'm just going to take their memory out. And we'll install my memory. Put a little PP memory in here. PP. And we'll try this again. Too bad it takes forever for a CMOS reset. All right, so I have this thing going through this startup process again. What we're looking for is something to double. So, all right, 60 watts, it should double up to 120 watts, somewhere around there whenever it's about to start up. We do have the battery plugged in, so we should get charge current at some point too. It points to the next stream. Now, we'll be okay. I can run a little bit late. It's fine. We're just trying to get this done because we want to fix 3 for 3 again, right? So last Wednesday, we fixed 3 for 3. And this one, we're going to do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I see it's 12:01. Wait, I'm going to get this thing to turn on, and then we're going to move, and then I can kind of do our wrap up. And maybe we can do a little just chatting for a minute too, because I always feel bad whenever I don't do that. Okay, it did turn off. Come back on. Just keep an eye up on the error code if we're getting one of those error codes again. Nate's going to Europe. Any chance we can meet? Where are you at? I'm going to be in South France, though. I can meet Soren. Yeah, I'm not going to be in England. London. I went to London a couple years ago. I should have went and visited him. I don't know which part of England is in. I don't know if he's in London or not. Do we got an error code again? I don't see an error code. Have fun on the vacation. Still gave the cap value. Oh, yeah, let me grab the cap value. So these are 22 microfarad, 6.3 volt, 0204. And I bought them on Mauser. I put the little label in here too. And then I always just put my big sticky on here because I like to be able to just read it very easily, but that's the Mauser part number. So this is the exact size and specifications that the schematic called for. Not worth paying that much for 64 gigs of RAM. Never. Never. Woohoo! And I got a picture! So, did see the Alienware screen for a second. Did take a second for it to post. Now, I don't know if their RAM is failing or if one of the sticks is just, it didn't plug it in right or whatever, but we do have a picture with my RAM, so the machine is turning on and it is working. We have confirmed that. Now, I will go back and I'll do thorough testing on their memory sticks and make sure that both slots are working, both memory sticks are working. But we were able to save this laptop. It is something that commonly happens because it does overheat, and we have an issue in this area over and over and over and over again where it gets really hot in this area. Like even me touching this is already hot. So you can actually see under the thermal camera that we have a lot of heat in this area. And so by adding a cooling duct out the side of this, we're blowing air across here. So basically I open up the side of this fan and it blows right across here, and it ends up keeping this whole area really cool. And so you can see all this is hot too. And so that's what we're trying to do, is just try to make it where the capacitors don't have to heat and cool over and over again, because it always happens during a game. So, but was able to fix that one. That is good to go. So we did 3 for 3 today, guys. We did it. And that's going to help me out a lot, because I have to fix as many laptops as I can before I go out of town. So Hunter needs to send chicken dance videos to the Discord. I got a chicken dance for you. So that one's fixed up. Let's do a little just chatting for about 5 minutes. I know I have to run, but I feel bad because the last couple streams I just kind of like ran out. So this is the part of the stream where you guys can just kind of ask me whatever you want. So we'll just do just chatting. I'm going to pull up my big chat window to see if I can keep up with it. I'm not very good at reading. Words are hard, so do not put big, long things. And you can even ask me technical stuff or whatever. Nobody says, take care, 2 weeks plus. Yes, thank you. I'm going to be happy. We're going to be sitting on the beach a lot. So, have you had cooked snails? Yes, escargot. I've had it several times. I don't have a problem with that. I can definitely eat escargot. Let's see. Maybe 3 for 3 for streams from now on. I hope so. But whenever you run into bad chipsets and bad CPUs, nothing you can do. I wish it was a great trip. Have you gone back and fixed the few CPU failures that were caused by the burn under the coil? I only found one motherboard that did that, and then I found another. Actually, I found another one that did it, but the CPU was bad at the end of that. So, but I did find one. And I haven't tried fixing it yet. Is it worth getting used workstation laptops? 100%. Yes, 100%. These workstation laptops are built very well, and Dell even stands behind them for at least 3 to 5 years. So. Definitely worth it. Now, you're not going to get as much power if you're getting like older ones, but newer ones are nice. Can you suggest a meter to replace your old crappy one? You can suggest a new meter. I need it to plug into the computer. So whatever you have that you can suggest, yes, send it over to Discord if that'd be great, and I'll take a look at it. I don't mind spending a little bit of money on it as long as it makes my life a little bit easier. Enjoy the sea and have much fun over there. Thank you there, Glish. Family first will be here. That's right, John. Thank you. Did you learn to speak French? I don't speak French. I mean, I know Ampu, I guess. I don't know. My kids speak fluent French. My wife speaks okay French, but my kids are like, they went to French immersion schools all their lives, so they're completely, they can just do all the translating for me, so I don't have to deal with any of that stuff. Do you have any plans to go to Uganda? No, I don't. With Soren, it would be great. So, but isn't he, I thought he was in England. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. At some point I'm going to get over that whole region, but I have not made it over there. I end up going on Europe trips a lot lately. Happy birthday, Mrs. Nate. I will tell her. We hope your RAM is it's not totally dead. I think your RAM would be fine, Hunter. I think it's fine. Usually we have weird issues. Maybe I just didn't seed it in there probably. I'm working on a 17R5, found a dead cap, quickly tested quick, and it works. Any way to pay to GRT? Any way to pay to GRT? I don't know what you mean by that last part there, Woot. Do you have any Balkan food? I haven't had any Balkan food. No, I haven't. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Was that Scott? Oh my gosh. Food in France. They have really good food in France. Will you only do France or other countries? So we're going to be right next to Italy. So I think we're supposed to be walking distance to Italy. So we're right on the border, basically. The last time we went, we just drove to Italy for a little bit. So the last few trips, we've actually did a stop by at Italy. But I'm not renting a car this time, so I don't have to sit there and just focus the whole time. Value, can't find the schematic. Oh, the value, got you. 17R5. Just get close. I don't know, or just take it off of there and run it without it. If you're missing a capacitor and you don't know the value, just get something that's on the same type of power rails on something else. So, if it's a 5-volt power rail, get off that. If it's a main power rail, get off that. Who's going to Italy? He's going to Italy. Can't wish Nathan and his family a safe trip. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nathan, for the stream. Have a nice trip. Cool trip next time. Take care. Well, thank you very much, Will. How do I fix a pattern monitor? Patient monitor is I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. Let's see, where are we at? Gosh, it moves so fast. Oh no, I lost where I was. Bring back souvenirs for everyone. That's what I should do. See if I can find the Alien store somewhere. What was the tube of the heatsink compound that you were using earlier? So what I use here is this Arctic Silver 5 in general. I just buy these in bulk packs like this. Yeah. It works fine. I don't have any issues with it. I mean, that's what I would, PTM is really good if you are running something that had liquid metal on it, and then Arctic Silver 5 is more than enough. Dell should pay you to do the fan mod. Finding that, yeah, I'm sure Dell's so happy with me for pointing that out. Yeah, they're just like, you're such a great person for doing that and telling everyone about it. Time to fix a 4-wheel. Oh, have fun doing that. Shoot. Could you please let me know about this order number and the repair process? Cruiser, is that you? Is that your? Yes, that's the 15R3, right? LCD connector, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me take a look at yours. Repair number. I should pull that up. Forgot that I didn't have my screen pulled up for you. Oh, Michael. Okay, yeah, Michael. So that I've been working on that laptop for days, and so I did fix partially. The laptop does come on, but I'm not getting any picture anymore, or I don't get a picture and you didn't get it before. Your LCD connector was completely mangled and ripped off the board, damaged. And I think it actually backfed into something else. I am getting all the power rails to that to the actual screen, and I've tried different screens. So I don't know at this point what's actually causing the issue. And I'll give you an update tomorrow. But at this point, I was like, I keep kind of having to put it off to the side because I don't know what's causing the screen not to come on. And I'm starting to think that we have some sort of chipset issue, unfortunately, because the way that LCD connector was mangled, I think it like backfed into something. So who knows? Any tips for beginners? So the best tips is going to be watching videos and practicing. So if you can get a bad something, buy something bad that's broken and practice soldering and playing around with stuff. Diagnosing is going to be the hardest part. So you collect all the clues, make notes and stuff like that. Or even watch my videos and then try to guess what it is ahead of time based on what I'm talking about. Because that's what I do a lot. It's like, it's doing this, it's doing this, it's doing this. Like, you use those and go, okay, well, if it's doing that, it should do this. So you use those as kind of your curriculum, I guess, to figure it out. So. Good spot for French Riviera. Have fun, safe trip, Nate. Appreciate everything. Learned so much from your videos. Well, thank you there, Ken. Appreciate all that you do too. Any suggestions to source the 9M? Let's see, that battery seems old. Let's see if I can find that battery for you. 9N. This is a. So this battery is unobtainium, so Dell hasn't had it in a long time, and I know the best thing that you can do to find these, because I actually did get some of these on a load at one point, like recently. Like I got like 5 or something from a Dell load. And, but yeah, you're not gonna be able to find any OEM one, so you're gonna have to get one that has a brand on it. Just find something that has a brand, that's all. Don't have it where it's just China battery. China battery, no good battery. So Amazon or eBay would be the way to go, and you can return them. So if you get it and you think it looks sketch, just return it, and then you can return a brick in a box for Amazon and eBay. So weather is fine in Europe is like if you're at the 24th latitude or the 30th latitude. Yeah, that it's not okay if you're further down. That's crazy. Good luck, have fun. Silly movie. Hey, good luck, have fun, don't die. Oh, that's the movie I actually have on my list. I'm going to watch on that trick. Yes. Yeah, AJ. I just actually have that on my list of movies I'm going to watch while I'm traveling. So good luck, have fun, don't die. So anybody else who hasn't seen a movie recently, this is it's supposed to be a really good, like, it's about AI taking over the world, and you have to go back in time. It's almost like a 12 Monkeys mixed with something else. Anyway. I really know you really like Dell. Honestly, thoughts on MSI? I've never worked on an MSI in my life, so I don't know anything about it, but a lot of those motherboards are all made in the same factory, the Compal factory, so to me it's the same thing, but I don't know. I don't know, because it's not like a liking of Dell. I only work on Dell. I've only been doing it for 25 years, so that's the problem. I just kind of fell into it. Value of a capacitor, can't find a on a schematic. Pay for a value of a capacitor. I have a pick and pointing out the capacitor. Yeah, I mean, you just run it without it, dude. Just it's gonna work. It's gonna work. All right, so I have a question. I'm working on a Dell Latitude 5420. It powers on with battery, but the USB-C ports does nothing. I checked on it and didn't find any shorts to burn components. I guarantee if it doesn't work on a USB-C port, make sure that you angle the ports, right? And also plug in the port one way or plug it in the other way. And so you're usually, on those you have 2 ports on one side, and those are going to be ran by 1 chip. So you just try ports, so you have 4 combinations plugging it in, try that. And then the other thing is that if you can look at it under a thermal camera or see current being pulled, you'll probably have your PD controller getting hot. You probably have a bad PD controller, or you have a MOSFET or a power management chip burned up. It's going to be one of those 3. It has to be. That's just the way it is. Because if you don't have a short on the main power rail, the machine's coming on battery, then it means you have something else on the input. So, sorry guys, I'm having a hard time keeping up with all this. I'm way behind already. Way behind. How come you only work on Dell laptops? I started this business when I was 21 years old, bought a load of Dell stuff in a shipment and started selling it on eBay out of my house. And then I got a warehouse and started selling more and selling more. And then so basically I ended up only sticking with Dell because that was the stuff I was getting. So that's why I have more than 700,000 parts in my warehouse. I only deal in Dell parts. And then we offer service as kind of a side note, and it's always been like 3 to 5% of my business. Now that I've been doing the videos and YouTube and all that stuff, it's now getting closer to 7 to 10% of the business, but it's still not a big portion. Mainly selling parts is kind of the business, right? But specializing in it and being really good at one thing versus being good at lots of things is the way to go. So everyone kind of comes to us for that, and that's why I do it. Great stream today. I will be in withdrawal for the next 2 weeks. I suppose I concur, I guess. All right, sorry guys. I think I'm out of speed here. Is it real or is it fake? I love repairing this tech video. I'm going to jump around a little bit here. They make fake batteries in China that look genuine, but they're fake. Sometimes inexpensive from a thrift store. Crazy Nate School of Science will be closed for the holidays. What's the name of the movie? It was Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Write that down, guys. Everyone, that's your assignment while I'm out of town. Everyone, report back. Good luck. I'm going to watch it too. So this is going to be our movie club, okay? So everyone watch that movie, report back, and then we'll discuss, right? Okay, all right. That's it. That's all I got. I appreciate everybody coming out today. Thanks for the mods keeping the chat clean, helping out everybody. Thank you if it's your first stream. I do them twice a week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central, Sunday at 9 a.m. Not going to have any streams for the next 3 streams, so it's going to be Sunday 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. How's that work? Whatever it is. I'll be off for a couple weeks. Just check the schedule. I'll be posting on YouTube and Twitch to make sure that you know that, or on the Discord. And anybody who donated or became a member, I appreciate that. That is very helpful for me because I end up going down these endless rabbit holes working on laptops I probably shouldn't work on any longer. But just to close that curiosity loop of trying to solve or save a laptop for science, I end up going a little bit further than I should. But all those donations and all the subscriptions to the memberships and subs do help me out and help out what I'm doing. So I appreciate that. So with that said, I appreciate each and every one of you, and thanks for watching. I saved another laptop!